Mesdames et messieurs, my dear otaku family, it is with deepest pride and shoujo trash pleasure that we welcome you to this episode. And now we invite you to grab a rice ball, plug in those headphones, as the Dub Talk crew proudly presents Kakuriyo. Disclaimer, here's what to expect for sure. Filthy language and adult themes we refuse to self-censor. If you're young, we insist, mute the mic for those whole bits. Just a warning for the swearing, we're not nervous about sharing. We may spoil every show, after all, that's how it goes. If a series is talked about, be on your guard. Spoilers for anime are bound to be displayed, so be prepared if we share all the parts. Oh, and lastly, the thoughts and opinions of the individual members do not necessarily represent the Dub Talk Resort as a whole. Sorry, our lawyers told me I wasn't allowed to sing that part. Alright, let's finish this musical number with a bang. Tonight we'll join the spirits for a fancy visit. Start the show. What's the show?
Welcome home, Masters! It's an honor to have you return to Dub Takya, the podcast resort where your hosts will treat your anime dub needs, be it the latest simuldubs coming out from the brand new shiny dubs coming out right now, or the old school things that have already come out but still have a lot of merit to it. We are here to service your every needs here in the greatest dub/resort thing that has ever existed. And to join me tonight, I have assembled the finest members of the staff here. We have our head chef prepared to serve up the finest dishes of all time. Say hello to Jamal!
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Now, what's on the main menu tonight for eating, Jamal?
Pretty much New York strip steak, topped with fried onions, and served with a side of zucchini.
Ooh. Now, does any of that come with melted chocolate?
Well, yeah, but I need baby oil first.
Why did you do that, Noah?
I gave him a card. I gave him a card, and he played it perfectly. That's why I have this man here. And once you have completed your meal, you will be treated to excellent hosting services by our head hostess, Gigi.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Do we have the pillows fluffed up and the beds made up for all of our guests tonight, Gigi?
Dude, that's not what a host club does.
Well, not in our little resort, I guess you're right. And after you have enjoyed a wonderful night of food and rest, you can pay our accountant your tab. That will be Lilac right over there.
Oh, God.
Mom Chan gets the money.
The accountant all of a sudden? Why do I get the shit job?
Lilac, do you really expect me to trust these other two with the money?
Hey!
Look, I got Nendo's to buy.
Exactly.
You make a fair point, but I mean, can't I at least be at the front desk or something? Like, why am I doing this?
Can you turn into a spider?
No, but I can turn into a tanuki. Does that count?
Oh my God.
All right. You can be our
Trash Panda!
Woo!
Okay, we're losing already here.
We're off to a great start, ladies and gentlemen.
I am the ogre god NoahClue, here to supervise.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
I am the Dragon King.
No, you're
You
not.
sit down.
No,
You troll.
Noah's gone
Noah's the
delusional.
troll that lives under the bridge.
Aw.
I thought that was Hardy.
He's too
No,
big
that's
to be a troll.
Okay,
Y'all
all
are
right.
terrible.
I feel the love here tonight. So,
Can you feel the love
Can
tonight?
you feel the love tonight?
The peace the evening brings?
and I can hear the music too. Clearly that's going to be a running theme tonight. Anyways, so we should probably tell the guests what we're talking about tonight, shouldn't we?
Probably.
So, we are in the middle of the simuldub season right now, and Funimation has been very nice enough to bless us with many, many great shows for the spring season. And the one that we're going to be talking about tonight is Studio Gonzo's Kakuriyo. Kind of translated, it means The Hidden Realm, or the long title for it is Bed and Breakfast for Spirits, which is a series that takes place in what's called the Hidden Realm, full of Japanese folklore spirits, monsters, beings of all sorts of mythological persuasions. It's a really cool place to visit. Unless, of course, you are an imprisoned prisoner, because our lead character is a 19-year-old college girl named Aoi Tsubaki, who had the world's greatest grandpa. But
That's a fucking lie.
Greatest in quotation marks.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, boy.
Let's say Aoi had the kind of grandpa who is a great guy, just not to have as an actual grandpa.
Probably not.
Because he managed to rack up a huge debt in the spirit realm, in the hidden realm, and he's dead now, so they can't quite collect on that. And so, before he died, though, he left Aoi as his collateral. So basically, she is saddled with his 1 million yen debt to the spirit realm until she pays it off. And if she can't pay it off, she has to marry Odana, the ogre god, who is one of the head masters of this realm here. It's a really nice guy, but if you've read any fairy tales, getting married without really wanting to be is no fun for anyone. So Aoi has the task now in the spirit realm of trying to make up the money to get out. How's she gonna do it? That's what we're going to try to figure out here tonight.
Side note, Odana in the English is just referred to as master.
Correct.
Like, his actual name is never said, which is weird to me, but it's alright. Oh god, don't start.
No.
He can be
No.
my master any day.
No!
Get back in your box, Gigi.
I live in a cage.
It's too early for this.
Yeah.
It's too early.
No.
God damn it.
You brought it up.
I'll be nice and say that he's actually a nice guy. You know, he's not a bad character. He's just, nobody wants to get married against their will.
It's called Stockholm Syndrome.
We'll get to the Stockholm Syndrome, trust me.
Anyway.
My dreams.
Like we said, this is one of the series that's getting a dub a couple of weeks after the Japanese episodes come out, which is awesome. We love us some simuldubs. But who could we possibly get to dub a series like this? We need a crackerjack team of spirit professionals to do it. So I'm actually going to ask my cohorts here if they had any predictions for who would be the dub people in this. Lilac, you want to go first in terms of who might direct and or write this series?
I sure will. And side note, I think most of the discussion, just for heads up sake, most of the discussion tonight is going to be for the first 3 episodes of the show. Because I think that's what we decided on, and also I only watched the first 3 episodes of the show.
Right,
so that's
right.
as far as we're going to have to go with it. In regards to predictions, there were a couple of shows that are pretty similar to this one that I came with the thought process of, why don't we bring the director writing team coming in from these other shows and bring them here because it would be a good fit. So my writer pick, I only had one writer pick, and because of his work with Token Rambu Hanamaru, I decided to pull him into this, and I had Clint Bickham as my writer. In terms of directors, I had 2 possibilities. Both have directed shows similar to this nature, and both I wanted to see come into this show. So my second choice in director was actually Tia Ballard. I haven't seen her direct anything in a while. I think The Royal Tutor was the last thing I might have seen her direct. But I was like, okay, I want to have Tia come back as a director because she's awesome. And I feel like this is a good fit. She's going to be directing this show. Please and thank you. My first choice in director, though, because she's had a lot more experience directing similar shows like this, such as Token Rambu Hanamaru again, but also Konohana Kitan from the fall season. And this show has a lot of Konohana Kitan vibes, I'm not gonna lie. So I had Jade Saxon as my other director pick here.
Now when you say similar to Yeah, sorry.
Konohana Kitan?
Konohana Kita or Token Ranbu. You mean like the old world Japanese setting?
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
I mean, the old world Japanese setting with Konohana Kitan, but the Token Ranbu elements is all the Bishi boys coming into play, of course. And let's face it, this show has some Bishi gentlemen going on here. So she can wrangle some of them boys to come in here.
She's got a bullwhip, I'm sure, to wrangle perfectly well.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Jamal, going along that same line there, did you have predictions for directors and writers?
Yeah, let me just try to contain my anger for a second.
Oh, God, this is because we talked about the show that we shouldn't be talking about.
Yeah, I guess. But I also... Yeah, but the thing is, my predictions, because I also had a Konohana Kitan vibe too. So, because my first prediction was actually pretty much a pair, and that was Jade Saxton for director and Deborah Crane as the scriptwriter.
Okay.
Yeah, that would work out.
But but here's the thing though, because I had 3 for each. My last 2 predictions kind of go hand in hand based on a tweet I saw, and I had both Kristen McGuire and Emily Neves because I remember a tweet saying that those two were going to be office mates, so I figured they'd be working on an anime together.
Okay.
It's interesting that, like, aside from the Clint guess, it seems like both of you guys went with mostly female directors and writers for this show.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably because the show is much more romantic in nature and has a female lead to it.
It's shoujo trash. The show
I'm about
is
to say, it's
straight
more-
up 1000% trash.
I think it's more for me because this series is for a more female demographic, and I mean, Gigi can attest to this too. Like, we really do want to see more shows that are geared towards the female audience a lot more.
Oh yeah.
And with certain directors who handle them, like Royal Tudor and Tia Bala directing that one is a perfect example. Like, they know the audience that they're shooting for, and they know how to cater the show to them. So personally, I'm like, I think it should be the same situation here, honestly.
Okay. And that's, I mean, I had similar vibe too. I'll get into that a bit after we listen to Gigi's predictions. Gigi, prediction away.
So do you want my real predictions or like the
No.
joke predictions that I'm gonna
Brought
throughout this
you
episode?
brought you into this tavern for your joke predictions. Come on.
So my
Why?
first prediction is David Wald, and my
For what?
What?
director, and my second
Interesting.
prediction is David Wald for writer.
A one-man show, huh?
David, God damn it!
Oh, he already has, Gigi.
I know.
He already has.
But my real predictions for writer, it was Caitlin Barr, because
Okay.
she is bae and I love her, and she just, moved into Funimation, and I wanted her to be on a shoujo show. She wrote Haikyuu, so I know she knows what the girls want, and this is what we want. And as for my director, along the same lines of everybody else, I also picked Jade Saxton, because this show looks exactly like Token Ranbu. It looks exactly
Yes.
like Konohana Kitan. It must be all the kimonos and shit or whatever. But Jade Saxton also knows how to wrangle a very big ensemble cast, which, because this show is too core and it's shoujo trash and it's a reverse harem, somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to be the boy wrangler. Jade Saxton's very good at wrangling boys. So those were my real predictions.
You
I
say
think
that, and then there's 2 of us here.
Well, see, I don't get this. Like, this is the trash show of the season on Funimation, and yet there are boys in here.
I don't know about that.
I take umbrage with you calling it a trash show.
This is
The
the
trash
only
show of the season is High School DxD.
No, that's not.
That
for
is
girls.
utter trash.
That's not for me. That's the boy trash show.
It's
the
still trash, though.
The shoujo trash show is this. This is the only one Funimation chose to dub, unless you are on Team GG, where Legend of Galactic Heroes is a BL. Which,
Here we go.
in which case, there.
No, look, Gonzo has made plenty of trashy shows in the past. You want a trashy show, go watch
Speed Grapher. There's a great trash
Oh,
show for you.
What
oh
the fuck
God,
is that?
No.
Does it have boys
no.
in
Oh
it?
no.
If it doesn't have boys in it, I'm not interested.
It has boys in it.
It has
Gigi.
hot, shirtless, superpowered boys in it.
It's a very, very dark mystery show of sorts.
But that is for a
It's-
completely different episode.
It is trash though. Like that
Bring
show
it-
is trash.
So, bringing it to this show, which I don't think is trash, but I think we're going to
It's
debate
not
that back and
trash,
forth all
it's
night.
shoujo trash. As in, when I did my shoujo trash podcast, this was the only show that we picked from Funimation because it was the only one worthy enough to have a largely female audience and had a bunch of boys in it. That was dubbed. So
If that's your
Anywho.
definition.
Yes,
if that's your
it is.
definition, then okay. We'll go with the
Anywho.
GT gold standard here. But I am proud to say that my cohorts here were very good at their guessing game because I was not in the camp of guessing all the ones they had because I guessed Caitlin Glass as the director.
Okay.
For the sake, some of the same sake of she does ensemble groups very well, and she also does. I'm not gonna call it shoujo trash, but she does shoujo shows very well. She's done Love Lie, she did Fuka, she did Suzuka, she's done quite a few in the past, or in the recent history actually. And this seemed like with the troubles that Aoi is going through, that this would be the kind of thing that Caitlin's already geared towards. And as far as writing it, because she's been starting to write a lot more for Funimation, I also thought that Evelyn Neves would be a good person to write
Okay.
this. Probably because I heard her writing on Hyoka, and I thought that her the way that the dialogue conveyed a lot of emotions would translate well to a show like this, where there's a lot of conversations amongst characters to convey their thoughts, their feelings, and I thought, okay, that's kind of up Emily's wheelhouse. So now I have to say who wins the prize and who has to scrub the dishes.
David Wald.
I think all of us do. I think all of us do, actually, in some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, in a way, all of us got some of it right here, because the director, as a surprise to no one, was Jade Saxton and Tia Ballard.
Whoop whoop!
Yes, two-core show, and we have double the trouble in terms of directors here. So, so like you guys said, Jade Saxton has directed quite a few shows for Funimation recently. She did interviews with Monster Girls, she directed Token Rambu Hanamaru, she directed Convenience Store Boyfriends, and I'm sorry, Jamal, to bring this up again, but yes, she did direct Kanohana Kitan, the show that we wanted to do an episode for, but we didn't.
One day that will get an episode.
One day we'll make an episode of it, because I
Yeah.
love that show. It's
Yes.
adorable. I want to do that one.
It really was. So, all you guys, go watch that show after you're done watching this one.
Yes.
All right. Also, Tia Ballard's directing. She's also got quite a long list of credits to her name. She directed Kiss Him, Not Me. She directed, like Lilac said, The Royal Tutor. She directed Chain Chronicle, The Light of Hayasyatas. And I had to make sure that we weren't going to talk about this one, because I know everybody wants to talk about this one. She directed In Another World with My Smartphone.
No one wants to talk about that one.
I want to talk about why that's got commentaries, not Bakken, but that's just me.
Alejandro, do you want us to do an episode about In Another World with my smartphone?
No.
No, he
Gigi,
wants
no,
us
no.
to do an episode of my
No.
first girlfriend is a
We're not
gal.
gonna mention that one. No. We're not gonna mention that one.
No.
Oh,
no.
Lord.
No, we are going to talk, though, about our writer. And as a couple of us did predict, it was indeed Emily Neves, who is the ADR director, or not the director, sorry, has been the scriptwriter for shows for both Sentai and Funimation in the past. But I'm only going to focus on her writing for Funimation for this one here. If you've heard her write for something in the past, you may have heard her write for Urahara. You may have heard her write for Sky Wizards Academy, aka
Oh, God.
the greatest magical academy show ever created.
Why are we bringing that trash up?
Cody Balfour, the
Did you
best
just
Sky
make
Wizard.
that up? You just
Cody
make that up.
Balfour.
There's no way she wrote for that.
Go look it up.
I will.
She also wrote for Hyoka, like I said, and a show kind of similar to this in the fairy tale vein. She wrote for Snow White with the Red Hair.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a wide range of talent and a whole bunch of estrogen in the show. Jamal, tell us a little bit about your reaction to the first couple of episodes of Kakuriyo.
Before I get into anything, I just want to preface by saying, holy shit, Jade Saxon's coming to Florida Supercon.
Hey!
Someone's excited.
Well, that's great, I guess.
Say hi for us.
Oh, you
By the
know
time,
I will.
When does that con take place?
When is Florida SuperCon?
July 12th to the 15th, I think.
Oh, so it's next month. Okay, yeah.
But I'm thinking
Say
like
hi
when
for
this
us.
episode comes out,
It
The end
should-
of the month.
then
The
go
end
to
of
Florida
June.
Con if it hasn't already happened.
Anyway, so yeah, like I stated in what was it, Silver Guardian episode, Jade has a thing for directing shows with a lot of sincerity.
Yes, I remember that.
I say that, and then there's one other show I found out she's directed, but we're not talking about that. But, you know, she really plays to her strengths very well, and the fact that Tia is jumping in on this leads me to believe that, you know, it's a really good pairing when they work together.
Mm-hmm.
They manage to keep the flow of the show going very well, faithful to the sub as can be. But I can't help but think, I wonder if one of them is on a project or something, if both of them are co-directing.
Yeah, we don't have an idea about exactly who directed which episodes, or if they're splitting it directly in half. From the
Yeah.
way-
It sounds like they might be splitting it.
Yeah, according to the show page, they're splitting it. They all do the equal amount of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's like one directed episode 1, then the other directed episode 2, and then they go back and forth possibly.
No, not alternating. I mean, like, you just direct like various pools of each episode.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
which probably makes a lot of sense because both of them are probably in a few shows that are popped up this season. Like, for example, Jade is in Steins Gate Zero again, so there's that. But
Yeah, but I'm talking about like if maybe they're directing another project. That's what I mean.
well, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just more thinking maybe because it's the schedule wise with all the other shows they're probably involved with.
Yeah, true. Like I said, they managed to keep the tone very faithful to the original. And they did a very good job. I do like every new script writing. I like how she manages to just keep the script sincere, but I have a tiny little nitpick with the first couple episodes. I don't know if it's maybe a speech pattern in the episodes or something, but I keep hearing them refer to Shiro as she, though. And that kind of irks me a little bit. Like, I don't know if it's like the speech patterns and the voice actor.
That is weird, yeah. Now that
Yeah.
you say that.
I mean, it's been consistent throughout all the ones who've said his name so far.
Yeah, it has been consistent, but yeah, the real name is Shiro. Maybe how they've been pronouncing it comes out strange. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. I never picked up on that.
Yeah, so it's just kind of a little weird to me. But other than that, it does very well to stay true to the show. Because when you're dealing with something that's steeped in contemporary Japanese culture, you know, you gotta walk the line a little bit. You cannot stray off of this. You have to keep going with the theme consistently.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that could have gone wrong with a lesser writer. So I'm glad that there wasn't anything aside from that one pronunciation that tripped you up to say like this is inaccurate or this is wildly off from how it should sound.
I mean, I'm not too concerned about accuracy. It's just something that nitpicked me. I mean, it mellows out later on, but it's just for the first couple episodes. Maybe it's just first episode Janice. I don't know.
Well, they say his name a couple of times in later episodes. I never picked
Yeah.
up on that myself, so I don't know if they corrected it later on. I think it's small enough of a change. If it's something that the directors did not realize was the correct pronunciation for it, then it's going to be in all the future episodes. Maybe that's something to keep an eye on and go back and change when they do the broadcast release. Or the home video release, sorry.
Yeah, we'll figure out soon.
Okay.
Oh shit, she did write for Sky Wizards.
I told you! I told you!
I saw it too. I'm like, okay, cool, all right.
Why don't you ever believe me?
Side note: Emily Neves also wrote for Pop Team Epic, so
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
surprised you didn't add that credit in there.
I
Noah.
know, right?
I like to forget that ever happened.
Oh yeah, that's right. You and the two of you didn't exactly.
No, we didn't
like it
get
very
up to
much.
that part.
No, you guys didn't really like that show. I forgot.
Well, I was okay with it, but I'm starting to catch up to it now. I think I got to like episode 3, but I'm not in a rush to finish it.
No, I don't blame you.
Speaking of not liking Pop Team Epic, Gigi, how about this show? How about the Spirit Bed and Breakfast show?
You mean the Demon B&B, as I like to refer to it as? So I'm kind of surprised at the writing here because it's literally in parts of it, word for word, the subtitle translations.
Yes, it is.
Which I have, you know me, I have a huge problem with adapting like that because if you're gonna, oh God, my headphones. If you're gonna adapt something into English, there are a lot of like little jokes or little things that you can add in there that make it more for an English speaking audience, and this show is very Japanese, so I understand why you would want to be like really faithful to the subtitles, but to the point where it's like word for word translations. Only a couple of them actually like really needed to be word for word translation, so I don't know. I'm just kind of surprised because with all the improv that I'm assuming, please correct me if I'm wrong, that Emily Neves did in a show called Umaru-chan, like I feel that maybe there could have been more something like into this script that would have made it a little more differentiated from the Japanese version. As for the directing, I think it's a good cast. Like, it's a mix of new people and more veteran actors. And I know Jade can handle a big ensemble cast. The only thing I'm really hoping for here is that, and I've only seen to episode 3 and I don't read the manga or whatever this is based on.
A light novel.
Is it based on a light novel?
Yes.
I hope that she can insert a lot of heart into this, because I'm getting the Kami-sama Kiss feels in this, and Kami-sama Kiss has made me cry like a bunch of times because just the dub of it is so sweet and powerful, and the story is so heartwarming. Now, the story right now, my heart's not warmed at all. I'm just like, I'm waiting for something to happen to maybe make the romance a little better. I think in episode 3, it kind of got on that train. Then it swiftly derailed into something else. But I just really hope that the directors here can pull the heart out of this. Tia knows Kami-sama Kiss very well, obviously. So I hope that something, because this anime is basically Kami-sama Kiss with different characters. It's very similar. Yes. So I just hope they can pull it out. But I do have one huge gripe. And again, it's a pronunciation gripe. Why the hell do they call the main character Aoi? It's like, oh, I slipped and fell my knee. I got an Aoi. It's Aoi. And I specifically looked at the Japanese again before we recorded to make sure that I was right.
You were right.
It's Aoi. Why is it Aoi? It just, it grates. It grates.
If they're not careful about it, that sounds like one of those things that it's kind of a little inconsistent. Some of the episodes they get it right, and other ones it feels like they have an extra Y at the beginning of the name, and it sounds more like a yaoi instead of a aoi. So
it sounds like I hit my knee on something.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's unintentionally funny at some points. I mean, they could have translated it to what it actually means if you really wanted to be stubborn about it.
Well, what does it actually mean, Noah? Because I feel like you looked it up.
I did. There's a couple different translations for it, but the one that I'm pretty sure was the reason why the writer made it this way is Aoi. One of the translations is beautiful.
Oh,
that would make sense.
Do you know Shota Aoi from Utapri? His name
Oh God, here
to
we go.
beautiful boy.
Here we go. You done it now.
I mean, there's a couple other translations. Like, it can also mean blue in some ways of writing it, but I think the reason that she's called it in the show is because, and I'm going to get to my notes here on this one, is that this show is a huge Beauty and the Beast rewriting is entirely what it is.
God damn it, here we go.
Bonjour.
No, it's okay. Now, to all you listeners out there, I have not read any other reviews or watched or listened to any other reviews or analysis of this show. It's a very new show. Like, this is the first published work by the writer, so there's nothing else for me to go on here. But just watching the episodes, it was clearly inspired by Beauty and the Beast. Let's go down the rundown, shall we? Okay, it's a main girl who has to cover her paternal figure's debt by entering into a relationship with a monster character. She's given a rose, in this case it's a hairpin, and she's told that once it blooms, her time will be up. and that's the same thing that happens in the story too, like the actual fairy tale. She's got, her name translates out to beautiful. She's stuck in this world until she pays off her debt. Like, there's a whole bunch of Beauty and the Beast things going on here. And to get back to your point, Gigi, about if the romance picks up or not, it's a slow burn. Like, I'm up to episode 8 right now, and he gradually works his way on her, and they start to, you know, have their little, there may be something there that wasn't there before kind of moment.
Oh my god.
Personally, I'm
Are
hoping
you
for the
serious?
Fox Boy, but you know, thanks for wrecking it.
But it's not a reverse harem.
Yes, it is.
There's only like 2 guys.
Yet.
You keep writing that fan fiction.
I will. Thanks, AO3. Here I come. Somebody else talk.
Okay, so just to mention on the notes for the writing and the directing here, I don't have a whole lot about the direction because this is a very simple story, and so it's given very simple direction. All the actors are cast to characters so that all the characters sound distinct from one another. There was a scene somewhere in episode 3 where about 5 different characters were talking to each other, and I wasn't looking at the screen. I had to turn away for a second while the audio was playing, and I could tell without looking who was saying a line because the actors were cast to have distinct voices and speech patterns to one another, which is good. I really like being able to tell who a character is just from listening. So, yeah, good on Jade and Tia for that. I'm unfortunately going to have to agree with Gigi in terms of the writing, though, because it is very closely translated. It's almost one-to-one to the subtitles. There's not a whole lot of liberal writing in translating it into English dialogue.
Honestly, I think the point of contention is kind of with the 2 main characters, but we'll get more on that later, though.
Right, we'll get... it's now, to some people, that may not be a big issue. Like, if you've never watched the show in sub, then that may not be something that you need focus on. But for someone who watched it in sub, it stands out very heavily when the dialogue feels very directly translated from the Japanese. And none of it has taken away from the actual dialogue so far. Like, it hits all the right emotional beats. I'm just also kind of waiting for like that, my heart moment. But the actual show itself, like the way that it was written by the Japanese producers, it's a simple show. It's gonna work its way on you gradually. Yeah. So Lilac, similar thoughts to Jamal or more to Gigi and me?
Here's the strange thing, because you guys are saying that it's very one-to-one to the translation, the script anyway. I kind of feel it's a bit more, has a little bit more looseness to it. Like, there is some dialogue in there where where if you're just casually watching it, you wouldn't really pick up on it. It's not completely unnoticeable, but there are pieces of dialogue here and there that I picked up on when I was watching it just a couple hours ago now, where I'm like, this is interesting. And to be fair, it's been a couple months since I've watched the Japanese, to be fair. So I can't say it's a one-for-one translation. I feel like it actually is a little bit more of a loose script to a point, but I do also see the point where it's faithful for the majority of it, it's really faithful. Mm-hmm. It just has little loose bits here and there in terms of some dialogue and phrasing. In terms of the directing, I really love the direction so far. I've gotten to love Jade and Tia as directors for numerous reasons, one of which is how they cast their shows. When we talk about the master, obviously the conversation will probably come up of, are they going to go with the stereotypical typecasting of this character? Because you can easily throw certain individuals who have voiced this kind of character into this role before, which we're probably going to talk about later. But I'm actually really glad that they strayed away from that immensely. And it's because Jade and Tia have worked on similar shows of this vein too. It actually makes perfect and logical sense to have the two of them here to work on this together, especially Tia, because the last time I've seen her direct something was The Royal Tutor. So good on you, girl, for coming back into that director seat. We've missed you. Come back more often,
You
girl.
still get a free t-shirt and free box wine if you decide to come to A-Fest. Just saying.
Yes, girl.
We're
Yes,
not
girl.
soliciting. We're not going to solicit qualified directors to drink with us, Gigi. Unless
Why
they
not?
want to.
Tia is our honorary senpai.
She is our honorary ladies' night member.
She is our honorary ladies' night member. That's we decided this a while ago. Not gonna lie. And I feel like maybe we should induct Jade at some point now too. But
Jamal, we're getting caught behind. We need to have we need to get some of the Funimation guys for drinking contests too. Apparently.
God damn, that's gonna be
God.
terrible. That's a terrible idea.
Cliff.
No.
Cliff don't drink. One problem with that, Noah, Cliff doesn't drink.
Not with that attitude.
Please, Cliff, ignore him.
Yes,
He knows
please
not what he says.
Dumb Talk is not responsible for the actions of Noah.
No.
We'll
We
put
are
that
not
in the disclaimer. And final disclaimer, the Dub Talk podcast is not responsible for our hosts and these stupid things that they will inevitably say.
No a clue.
Yes.
No, but overall, in terms of staffing, I have been enjoying it so far. It's just the one little thing is just the slight loose script. Where personally, I think it should be a bit more of a faithful adaptation. But I don't mind having those little loose moments in the script, honestly. But otherwise, it's very solid right now.
Okay, and that's I'm glad that we all had kind of a similar positive reaction to, at least it gets across the parts that it's supposed to. Whether or not it's
Right.
liberal enough for our enjoyment, I think it kind of just depends on how much anime we watch. I'm kind of thinking
Yeah.
about coming at this from the perspective of someone who doesn't need to have seen a lot of anime. I think anyone, even non-anime fans, can come into this and enjoy the dub of it just fine.
Absolutely. That's why I was saying, like, in terms of script, if you're more of a casual anime fan, you wouldn't notice the little bit of looseness to the script. But compared to some of us who are very much heavy anime watchers, you can notice that little bit here and there.
Yeah. So, speaking of heavy anime watchers, we should probably talk about some spiders now that we can get into the cast a little bit here.
They haven't
Hisoka?
transformed into spiders for me yet. I'm depressed.
Hisoka?
Oh,
Not
you need to
Hisoka.
Oh.
You need to fix that after this recording.
that's
I told
wrong.
you, this is the one show I still have to catch up on for the spring, and I'm good.
Okay, fair enough. Just think of the giant spider from Harry Potter, only a little cuter. Slightly.
I know the picture in our main chat, what it looks like, and it's adorable as shit.
Yeah, Megan was so infatuated with these characters that she made one of the spiders the chat symbol.
Yes.
And I believe she has
Anywho.
what did she rename the chat? She named it
The Itsy Bitsy Dub Talk Chat.
the
Yeah, that
Itsy
doesn't
Bitsy
work as a song.
Dub Talk.
It does not work as a song. I
The
tried.
Itsy Bitsy Dub Talk
Dub Talk
Chat.
Interesting you mentioned a song because one of these characters actually knows how to play music very well.
Aha!
Segue!
Segue!
So, our spider siblings are Suzuran and dang it, I always mispronounce it. I know-
Akatsuki.
Akatsuki, thank you. I know the U's are silent. I just had to hear it once. Akatsuki and Suzuran, who are two spirits in the realm who have a bit of a history with Aoi's grandfather. They actually lived with him for a while. You find this out in some later episodes. So
Oh,
when
okay, but I was like, wait, what?
it's
You're
a-
spoiling shit for me now.
But I'm not gonna say what happened with them. Just know that they are already familiar with our lead heroine through her grandfather.
Okay.
So, but we meet these two because Suzuran is actually training to be a geisha. It's that 3-stringed Japanese pluck guitar instrument that you hear in the soundtrack.
A shamisen.
That's a shamisen. She is a geisha. Geisha is a completely different thing.
I mispronounce words, but yes, you look at the picture on the screen, people. You know what I'm talking about. And her brother is the head desk manager for the inn where all this takes place, which is called Tenjin-ya, which is the main resort which is the bed and breakfast for spirits of the title. Now we have to figure out who's going to play the spiders. And when I say spiders, I mean they can switch between human forms and spider forms. So, Gigi, do you have a non-David Wald prediction?
Well,
I'm taking away your joke prediction.
I was going to say David Wald for both of them.
Dang it! Oh yeah, I want to hear David Wald do like a falsetto voice, like
The theme of the night,
Listen,
Gigi
if
put
you-
David Wald as everything.
I did. But listen, if you can't appreciate David Wald playing a geisha, I don't know who you are anymore.
I can appreciate
mean-
David Wald playing the gay man.
Oh god. This is true.
I'm sorry. Ever since that one episode, I only pictured David Wald as token DILF for the rest of his life.
He
Yes!
is the token DILF. He's the DILF whisperer. He's Captain
DILF
Hardpants
whisperer.
and the fun police.
He's also played the Bishi character. If we're talking season 2 of Token Rambu, which we'll come back to in a little while.
Anyway, for someone who's not David Wald, for Suzerain, I went back to Code Realize, I guess, talking about David Wald, and I chose Stephanie Young because she played the queen in Code Realize, and Suzerain I wanted to be, like a badass girl. So I was like, yep, that's her. And for Akatsuki, I picked everyone's favorite hot damn cinnamon roll, Alejandro Saab. Because I wanted to hear him be mean and nasty. Because I am kink shaming myself right now.
Only Jesus can kink shame you. Only Spider Jesus.
Oh,
Ooh,
shit.
so many arms.
Oh god.
Moving on.
Lilac, move us on, please.
Oh lord. I'll stick with Akatsuki too. I had 3 for each. I'll stick with Akatsuki too because one of my 3 picks was also Alejandro Saab.
Yo! Hot damn cinnamon
Yo,
roll.
girl.
Hot damn.
Basically, in terms of both of sets of my predictions, I wanted to hear, because my instinct was this show in general was either going to go to Jade or Tia, and they were going to use more fresh or underutilized actors. So that's my goal with this casting.
Okay.
Or actors we haven't seen her for a while. So Akatsuki, I had Alejandro Saab as one. The other 2 I had that I really wanted to see these as well. I had Justin Pate, and I also had Kyle Phillips. And then for Suzerain, because Suzerain, she's the younger sister of the 2, Akatsuki's the older brother. I went with younger sounding female voices that could also be this gentle, kind-hearted soul, because Suzerain, when you first see and hear her, she's very gentle and very devoted. So my first choice actually was Brittany Lotta for this one.
Goddess herself.
Yes. Second choice, I had Lindsay Seidel, and then my third choice was a default of Trina Nishimura.
Oh. I can't not see any of those.
I know you can't, right?
That's kind of an interesting range of them because like Trina specifically has a much lower voice than the other 2. So I'm like,
but I've seen her go gentle, not seductive, but she can put that tone in there if she wanted to. But she can have a gentle voice depending on what you do.
that's true, and that's a sign of a good voice actress is being able to not have just one stereotype voice, but
Exactly.
switch to multiple ones. So I just need to hear Trina in more stuff before. And Jamal, prediction away.
For Akatsuki, get ready for a threesome. I also had Alejandro Saab.
Yo!
Hell yeah!
Hot damn cinnamon roll.
Let's go!
Cause Akatsuki has an angry disposition. I really want to hear Alejandro yell again. And you will put on Twitter right now, but
God damn it.
but going along the same lines, I also had Stephen Fu because there's also because like you said, Steph, you want to see underutilized actors, and
Yes.
there have been many times recently where I've confused the 2. So
Okay.
I'll get more on that one later. As for Suzerain, I figured since she's the younger sister, cheerier disposition, default is default, and I had put April.
Oh, you know what? I'll give you that one.
I'm not surprised by that since it's you, Jamal, but I can also see it working.
Exactly. Oddly enough, I also had Morgan Garrett because, I've seen her play some sweetie characters, and I really want to see him play a sweet character again. But for something different, I also had Don Bennett.
I love how you have Don Bennett and Morgan Garrett as predictions. We'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah,
We'll go a little bit.
And I'm going to segue off of that, actually, because I also had Dawn Bennett as my prediction for Suzerain, solely because she played the character of, I think it's pronounced A in Show by Rock. Sorry. In Show by Rock, who also plays a Shami-san. And I think I wrote this down, actually, before I even heard the voice in Japanese. I just saw, okay, characters playing the Japanese guitar. I can't get it out of my head now. No matter who else I think of, it's going to be stuck there. It's going to be Dawn Bennett. So I'm like, that's cool. That's fine. And I actually did not have a prediction for Akatsuki because I think there were too many young male voices at Funimation to pick from. I couldn't narrow it down. Like, kind of indicative of the fact that all you guys picked a wide range of actors. I was like, I can't even pick one to narrow it down. Now, in the grand tradition of somebody got it right. Did anybody get this right?
Crickets.
No.
Crickets.
No,
Crickets.
nobody got it right.
It was David Wald, right?
God damn it.
Yes, the whole thing is David Wald. You're David Wald. She's David Wald. We're all David Wald.
Stop it.
Oh shit! Oh, I can't make that joke. Never mind. Oh,
Let's
boy.
not.
I should probably talk about the characters. So
Yes,
our
please.
spider siblings are voiced by two interesting veterans of the Funimation studios, actually. Suzuran is voiced by Alexis Tipton, and Akatsuki is voiced by Orion Pitts, who I don't know if we've talked about before.
Yes, we have.
Not an episode I was in, but you're right,
Probably
I'm looking
not.
through his credits here, and there was at least one that we talked about before.
2.
Alexis, many of you may know as Hyoka Kazakiri in the Magical Index series, Chamie Honda in King's Game.
Chimi.
Really?
Oh god, that poor
Really?
girl.
Get out, Noah.
Get out.
I forget, is she the main girl in that show?
No.
No, she's not, but
We don't talk about King's Game.
we don't talk about King's Game.
What's
There
King's
was
Game?
no King's Game.
Exactly.
In Basing.
I don't know what you're
There
talking
was
about.
no King's Game in Botsing.
I was talking about... No,
Thank you, Jamal.
I was talking about another role, like Kaori Tanaka in Shiki.
Okay,
And-
that's fine. Acceptable. Very acceptable.
Yes. And the greatest lead character in a harem comedy series ever, Sun Seto in My Bride is a Mermaid.
I still need to watch that.
I was gonna say, you're talking about Shabby play.
I have to bring up Sun Seto. And every time I talk about Alexis, I have to, so that Lilac will finally watch it.
One of these days. Anyway, how about Orion Pitts? Orion Pitts?
Orion Pitts is interesting because he's been around for Funimation for like over a decade. Like going back to some of he's been in more recent shows, like he was Ranta in Grimgar, but he was also in really far off shows, like he was Andy Anderson in Salty Ray, and he's been in some popular modern shows, like he was Tasai Yoshida in Assassination Classroom, and he was the best boy of Gigi's favorite shoujo trash show ever. He was Kairi Okayusu in Peach Girl.
That's right.
He has been around for a while. Fuck.
I forgot.
Okay.
But I was talking
You're
about
missing
Kiss
one-
Him Not Me. He was in there.
That's what I was about to go with.
Yeah. Kiss Him Not Me is another recent one that he's been in.
Yes, but I haven't seen that one. I can only list things that I have a slight understanding of.
I forgot he was in Peach Girl.
It's been forever
yeah.
since I've seen Pitch Girl, actually. Shit.
He was
I'd
the,
ra-
I need to rewatch
I'd
it.
Oh,
rather-
next Valentine's Day.
Dude, let's do
Oh.
it.
the
God.
Peach Girl, and the peach wine will flow.
Yes. Anyways.
Uh,
What are you groaning about? You're never in the Valentine's Day episodes, Jamal.
You don't have to
What are you
suffer
groaning
like I
about?
do. These handcuffs. Take them off.
Nope.
no.
Oh. All right, fine. I'll let you go first then.
Well, Alexis, she's doing a pretty good job. I mean, the usual Alexis Tipton role, and she plays it very well. Also, I'm a dumbass for not thinking about Ryan Pitts, but I don't listen to a lot of his roles, and he was just perfect, because, my God, the cards can be mean sometimes. Most of the time. But he does those kind of characters very well. And I know we're not talking about it, but he plays a minor character in DxD to the point he actually cursed. I was like, wow. So it's a testament to him for playing those types of characters. I know those are not easy to deal with, but hey, go the distance, man.
Yeah, if I could piggyback off that, Orion's talents is really evident in this because his character in this show is a rebel character, but never once does Orion go into the melodramatic camp. He always keeps it just believable enough that you buy him as this stubborn, protective Big Brother character who has some hang-ups.
Because with Big Brother, he has some differences with Shiro. And so as a result, he has kind of an angry disposition. So Orion has to maintain that. He can't just veer off in distance onto one side. You gotta keep the anger up, and that is not easy to do.
No, it really isn't.
Neither is keeping up this conversation, if you can tell right about now.
Sorry, we'll move on. We'll move along. But yeah, full props to Orion. That was really one of the more surprising ones because I know he's been around for a long time. I just I don't recognize him when I hear him in a role, and he keeps popping up, and I should recognize him. So it was a real surprise to have a voice that sounds fresh to my ears, that gives this this rebellious Big Brother character some bite to it. And he's got tender moments too, the moments where he's somber and he's lamenting and he's bearing his heart out. It's believable as well too, while still keeping that sort of slight rasp in his voice that I think is supposed to be reflective of his rebellious side. We have that stereotype a little bit in Japanese voice acting where the rebel characters have a lower growl to their voice that makes them sound tougher, and we get toughness here, but it's not cartoonishly tough. Neither is it tough, or is it cartoonish for Alexis either, because she gives off this very vulnerable and feminine voice to it. But it never, it's never cartoonish. It's believable in its sweetness. And there's a lot of sadness that we see in episode 5, which you guys will get to see eventually, that it's the second time in the show that I felt an emotional moment. The first time we'll get to later. So, Lilac, similar emotional thoughts on Spider Siblings?
Kind of. Where do I even start? So Suzuran. I kind of want to start with Suzuran, because I find it interesting that Jamal said that this is a very typical Alexis Tipton role. I have to disagree. Suzuran, I was just floored when she first came in episode 3 and in the tea house, and she's talking to the master and Aoi. She was so gentle and calming. Such a nice, sweet, calming presence. I don't actually get to hear often, or if at all, Alexis be that nice, soothing, gentle voice. And it just floored me. And it made Suzuran as a character come off as such a beautiful woman. And I'll admit, I fell in love with the character instantly because of how gentle she is, and such a wonderful character. And I love Alexis's portrayal of her so far. On the other hand, I have a problem, and his name is Akatsuki. But it's not for the reason you think. It's not for the reason you think. Okay. If you think it's because I don't like Orion Pitts' portrayal of Akatsuki, that is not the reason. The reason why that Akatsuki is my problem, mind you, again, I've only seen 3 episodes. Akatsuki as a character hasn't really stood out that much to me. So because of that, I didn't really have anything to write down or anything for Orion's performance outside of it being perfectly fine. I've seen him play the obnoxious little twit before. I mean, if we're talking Ronta and Grimgar, or I can't remember his character's name from Kiss and Nami off the top of my head.
Nanashima.
Thank you, Nanashima. And I've seen similar characters like this. The problem I have right now is Akatsuki, for me, hasn't had enough screen time for Orion to really stand out in terms of performance. So that's my problem with Akatsuki. Based on what I've seen, though, so far, I do enjoy it. It's just, unfortunately, because the other characters that we're going to discuss have more screen time, I have a lot more to say about them. Orion is, I think, the one character and the one performance I couldn't really think of anything to say because Akatsuki didn't have too much to do. That's the only drawback on here. But I'm going to take a wild guess it's going to be fine, though.
I mean, it's, like I was saying before, there is a slow burn in some of the emotional resonance that comes to these characters.
Right.
I'll let you watch the show later on, and by the time this episode goes up, I'm sure you will have caught up on those episodes, and you'll be like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, it's just, as of right now, unfortunately, I can't really say much about the performance because Akatsuki hasn't just done too much.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, Gigi, I know you also watched only up to episode 3, right?
I saw episode 4.
Okay, so you have a little more to say on Orion's performance?
I do. So Orion is really great at playing little douche nuggets. So I liked it. I mean, I got it. I was like, yep, keep yelling at me, sweetie. That's the way we like it here. Just keep screaming.
Whoa!
But
this isn't Devil's Line, Gigi. This is not Devil's Line, Gigi.
Well,
to be fair, when you get to episode 4 and when he turns into a spider, like, you can see a little bit more of his performance there, because when he was a spider, holy shit, that shit's tore up. I was like, oh my god, Orion Pitts.
I'm gonna have to watch afterwards now.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's really, really great, and he does a bang up job being a little douche nugget. As for, I love Akatsuki though, can't front. I love that character. As for Suzerain, I find it funny also that you thought it was a typical Alexis role, because I didn't get Alexis out of it at all. In fact, when I was watching it, I was like, who dis? New phone, who dis? To quote Zeta. And literally, I heard something in the voice that made me think I know who this actress is, but I can't place her. So just like in the little Alexis Tipton speech pattern, because I don't think it sounds like any role that I've heard from her lately. I felt it was a lot more mature than a lot of the roles that I've heard from her, because I'm used to Alexis playing squeaky, pink-haired characters. And I really think she had some great acting here, like between when Steph said the gentle geisha moments, and then when she was out in the hallway and those guys were like chasing everybody, I was like, So I think she really did a good job hitting the levels, and you know me, I love it when actors hit their different levels of a character. So good job, spiders. Hisoka's not here. Let's move on before I cry.
I will say, I think it's interesting that you guys all were kind of taken aback by Alexa's voice in this, and that might also be because all the other female characters that we're going to talk about coming up here, most of them are much more tougher, they're less vulnerable acting. So
it's a pretty big contrast, honestly.
Yeah, and I think we needed that too, because in a show where you got working girls that are like trying to race through the ranks or trying to work off their deadbeat grandpa's debt, it was kind of nice to have one character that was like had more purity to her. Right. And Alexis brought that off in spades. She was quite the range.
She was very down to earth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So
No, I wouldn't call it down to earth. I'd call it more elegant. That's the word I would call it.
But I think he means down to earth in like the sense that like she like bears her soul out for everyone else to see, and she's not trying to mask it like everyone else seems to be.
Exactly.
I get you.
All right. So I guess segueing off of that, we should probably talk about characters that are not exactly vulnerable. We should let's move on.
I know one of them's down in the earth, but.
Oh God!
Oh no! Bad Jamal. You go back. You're going last on this segment.
Who's your daddy? Yes, I am. You got me in. Okay. I am singing Zoot Suit Riot. Quick, move on. Let's go.
Let's please move on.
This is why we chose these people, ladies and gentlemen.
You mean I chose these people?
Yes, Lilac chose these people. That's why I made you the accountant. Remember?
I don't know how that equates to accounting, but okay.
Can we talk about some daddies, please?
Isn't accountable for their actions, and
stop it with your jokes and please move on.
Dad puns, the podcast. Anyways, speaking of dads, we're talking about the old men characters of the show. We've got two characters that are the deadbeat grandfather himself. Gigi, do you want to pronounce his name correctly so I'm not mispronouncing it here? Is it
Shiro?
It is Shiro. Okay.
Shiro Tsubaki, yep.
All right, so I want to make sure we didn't get the mispronunciation there. But Shiro Tsubaki is Aoi's grandfather, who has recently passed away and had the power to see spirits. We should probably preface that not all human characters in this world can see spirits, but it's a genetic thing apparently. And Shiro is like Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he could see the spirits and travel into the spirit realm apparently. Speaking of those spirits, one of his friends, in quotation marks, was Matsuba, who is a Tengu, which is this bird-human hybrid that is one of the first patrons that we see of Aoi's restaurant and has quite a bit of useful advice to offer as well. So, Lilac, did you have any predictions?
Of course I did. For Matsuba, I had two for each of these. For Matsuba, what I did with Matsuba was more of the typical older gentleman, because Matsuba is also seems more like a gruffer kind of guy to an extent, compared to Shiro. So what I did with Matsuba, my first choice was Mark Stoddard, and my second choice was R. Bruce Elliot. As for Shiro, his was very interesting for me because Shiro, despite him being a deadbeat grandfather, in the scenes where we do see and hear him, he's very kind and very gentle, despite him being very rambunctious from the stories that Aoi gets to hear. So the two voice actors I had for this, one of them was Kent Williams. That was kind of my default choice, because we've seen Kent Williams play similar characters like this before. The other person I picked, and I'm pretty sure I did this after Token Rambu Hanamaru, I did Vic Mignogna as my second choice for Shiro. I'm not kidding. What? Only because if you've seen Token Rambu, he plays Megan lovingly refers to him as I'm gonna get the name wrong, as the sexy Bishi grandpa, the sword grandpa.
In what show?
Token Rambu.
Oh, okay.
So, and his character in Token Rambu, the sword that he is among one of the oldest. So he's considered the grandfather character for this group in this world. And how Vic portrayed that in the show, it was so different, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I actually kind of wanted to hear that voice with an actual grandfather kind of character. So that's why I wanted Vic here.
I said what on there, but I agree that this wouldn't really work for a voice actor who sounds so much older, because like you said, he's got more of a gentler side to him in the Japanese.
Exactly.
Doesn't really sound as aged as...
No.
I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but yeah, not as aged up as some of the older voice actors.
Right.
Gigi?
Other than my fake predictions of David Wald, I did not predict them because I don't do old guys.
Now, I could actually see David Wald playing Shiro in this show.
I can see David Wald actually playing Matsuba.
Put his picture up.
Okay,
Do
fine.
it. There's your predictions done.
Fine, but we're putting the picture upside down.
I swear to God, if you don't edit it and have it upside down,
That's
I'm gonna
fine.
be disappointed. I will be disappointed, Noah.
So, what's that? What, did you have? You had no old man prediction?
No, I don't do old guys. Move on.
I'm glad you don't do old guys. Okay, that's.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Moving on. I also who did I pick for this? I had R. Bruce Elliot as a prediction as well, but I had him for Shiro actually. I thought that he would be the because he's got this fun voice to him, and Shiro was just a fun grandpa character. You know, he's like I actually have a grandpa who is very similar to Shiro. Not in the deadbeat sense, but in the he never seems
I would
to
hope
age
not
sense.
in the deadbeat sense.
No. It's just in the, like, to give you a picture here, my grandpa is in his 80s,
Okay.
and he still goes sledding in the winter.
Jesus Christ.
He is that kind of fun grandpa. He's going to outlive me and all my cousins, probably. So that's why I put R. Bruce Elliot there. And as for Matsuba, the character has a much gruffer voice in the Japanese than any of the other characters. And the instant I heard the Japanese, I'm like, that's got to be a John Swasey role. That can't be anyone but John Swasey.
Okay. I can see it too.
So that's all right, Jamal. I'm gonna let you out of the corner now. You may say what your predictions were for Old Men, John.
I went typical and atypical with mine for Shiro. I also had Bruce Elliot.
Yay.
I also had Kent Williams too. Yeah.
Nice.
However, I went a little atypical with Barry Yandel because after the Ancient Magus Bride, which part of the show kind of reminded me of, I figured he could work here too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Who did Barry Yandel play in Magus Bride?
Joe Garland.
Oh, right.
Yes.
That old guy.
And then Barry Yandel, if you're also familiar with him, he was also the little red demon in Soul Eater, inside Soul's head, and he also is Zaruba in the Garo franchise.
Oh yeah.
So I can see that.
And for Matsuba, I also doubled down with Bruce Elliot because he has that kind of voice. No matter like the stature of the character. But I went a little adventurous with mine, and I went with Damon Mills.
Let me guess.
Damon Mills does good old guy.
He is a
Because
wizard.
of his role in Yuri on Ice, possibly.
Probably. To be fair to Damon's credit, he's been playing a lot more characters in his own like natural range lately. So.
Oh yeah, he's gotta give
Good
his
for him.
vocals a rest sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Good for him though.
Yeah. He can't play cranky Russian grandpa all the time.
How he still manages to pull that off. Good lord, child, you are magical.
It really is. So, speaking of magic, we have... Luckily, one of us actually got one of these right. Everybody predicted our Bruce Elliot somewhere, and lo and behold, he is in this show. He is actually Matsuba.
Huzzah!
Huzzah, indeed. Our Bruce Elliot, the reason we keep guessing him for old guy characters is because he does it really well, such as he was Durham Gloucester in Black Cat. He was Palnado in Carnival. He's Saito, the old guy guitar swimmer in Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. But probably if you've heard him in anything before, you probably heard him as a narrator in every Funimation dub that needs a narrator voice. Like every single one, he's the narrator.
Not everyone.
No. Every single one of them.
Except for Lucy Christian and Okami-san and her 7 companions.
And then there's Jamie Markey in Hitalia and Chris Guerrero and Toriko. So not
And Chris George in Black Clover.
Yeah, Black Clover.
Prove Noah
Clover
wrong,
and,
101.
And something else. But no, I would say if you heard Arbor Elliot anything, he's Makarov from Fairy Tail.
Yep.
Well, I couldn't write that down because I don't know any of the Fairy Tail characters, sorry. As for Shiro, interestingly enough, none of us were able to pick this one out. And, well, it's none other than Brian Mathis. Also got not so much an old voice, but he's got a low, strong voice to him. You've probably heard him as Kaiban in Last Exile, The Silver Wing. You may have heard him as Kunimi in Noragami Arigato, or Yusamasa in Garo Crimson Moon. But all of you have probably heard him as Bone Daddy in Ancient Magus Bride.
Oh my god.
AKA Elias.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually had a real name. It wasn't Bone Daddy.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Bo Daddy.
Oh.
What
that's
is his
nickname.
name
That would just
actually
make
be
it
Bone
sick.
Daddy?
We will
Why
make
would
that stick.
Jesus Christ.
I had written on my notes here, I had in bold cap, I wrote Bone Daddy in Ancient
God
Magus
damn
Bride.
it.
See?
I didn't even write Elias.
I think Danny still wants the shirt too. That's the funniest thing, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, our Bruce Elliot does his typical old man role very well. And I like how he manages to be jovial when he's a bit drunk, though. Because when you're introduced to him, like, he's pretty much in an argument with the staff at the Tenjin Ya, and then you see him later on just in front of Aoi's doorstep after he manages to fall off an airship while drunk.
Yes.
So, pretty much, Drunken Old Man was very impressive. I really want to see more of Matsuba later. Shiro Tsubaki, before I even looked at the cast list, I listened to the dub, and I thought to myself, holy shit, that's David Matranga. And then I looked it up and I was like, no, it's not him. But it sounded like him at first, so, because I don't really listen to a lot of Brian Mathis roles, and he distinctly sounded like David Matranga. I thought it was him, but it wasn't. Anyway, I think Brian does a pretty good job. I mean, it has slight nitpicks here and there. I'm not used to him playing like this. It's funny, I'm not used to him playing this type of old man, but he does old man very well. If that kind of makes sense to you.
Well, I mean, like we were saying before, in the Japanese, Shiro was not, doesn't have an older voice. Like, he doesn't sound frayed and aged. And they kind of went with that, too, with Brian's performance here.
I think what they were going for is, because, you know, Shiro is more world-weary, and compared to Elias in the Interest Magus Bride, he was also world-weary as well. So I see what they're going for. It's just, it's something a little bit I'm not used to, but it was good nonetheless.
Okay. Lilac, also think it was serviceable?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why we love Arbor Elliot as old man characters, is because, like Noah was saying, he's good at doing them. And with Matsuba, he's kind of adorable. Because the Tengu are kind of gruff, a little bit tough, to an extent. And Matsuba in particular is very much like that, and I think Arbor Elliot is honestly the perfect fit for this. I can't see anyone else doing this. Brian Mathis is very interesting because coming off of Elias from Ancient Magus Bride, this is because Elias is a gentle person. Elias is also very, very curious, and he's like a child. He doesn't understand the world and how it works and humans and all this stuff. Shiro, Brian Mathis' Shiro, though, he's actually the first note I wrote down, is he's such a very sweet and kind grandpa. With the scenes that we see him actually speaking, he is such a sweet and kind person. And that's the exact kind of tone that I was hoping to happen. I didn't want the stereotypical gruff sounding grandpa like Arbor Elliot or John Swayze or anything like that. I wanted someone who was a bit more gentle. And Brian Mathis, at least with those flashbacks, he got that. He captured that gentleness for Shiro and his characters. What I do want to see is younger Shiro, though. Rambunctious Shiro, causing problems in the spirit world. I do want to see him actually play that stuff out instead of it just being like little shortcuts of his shenanigans with no lines of dialogue. That's the one thing I do want to see happen in the show. I don't know, obviously, I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if...
Okay, so far in the show, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but did you see him punch a spider?
I've only watched episode 3.
Okay. Well,
so
I
no.
I don't remember if the flashback was there, but yeah, you get to see him roundhouse kick a spider, completely dialogue free.
But the thing is, I want to hear some dialogue though. That's my problem.
What do you need? He kicked the spider. What else?
I just want to hear how Brian would sound as the rambunctious younger Shiro. That's my point. I want to hear what that would sound like. That's where my curiosity is.
Do you think that they would need to cast a younger actor? Like,
I would hope they don't.
Okay.
I mean, I can see it happening, but I would hope they don't. I would hope that they would let Brian have a chance to play with it a bit.
Okay. Now, Gigi, I know you don't do old guys, but you gotta do these 2 old guys for us.
Why does Shiro have an accent? Why does he have an accent? Nobody
Shiro
else
does not have
has
an accent.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
That's just Brian's voice.
That's
Is
just Brian's
it?
voice. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay,
That's
Gigi,
not his-
did you
that's no
watch Magus
accent.
Bride?
Yes.
It's very similar to his voice there too. It's not.
I didn't hear any Bone Daddy in this. I heard some dude with an accent, and with too much enunciation. That's what I got out of Deadbeat Grandpa in the one line that I heard him speak, because it was the only line I could go back and find, which I listened to 10 times to make sure he had a weird accent. And he does. It feels like he doesn't speak English. Nobody else has that accent but him.
That's interesting. And maybe if we did get a little more scenes of him actually speaking, then we probably would be able to expand upon that a little bit more.
Yeah, I didn't get the choice there. If that's how his real voice sounds, it didn't sound like Bone Daddy. It sounded like he was trying to make it sound like he didn't speak English very well, which I didn't get that choice, but okay. As for Crazy Drunk Grandpa, yay for old drunk guys. He was not characterized, which was great, because he could have been a crazy old drunk man, and you know how crazy old drunk Japanese men sound in anime. And I'm glad he didn't make that choice. I'm glad he was just normal, sort of drunk dude, but then sort of sentimental. And then he was a good boy, so we like the Tengu. Good job, that guy, who I already forgot who he was.
Arbor's Elliot.
Yeah, him.
He's necessary because he's the first. No, he's not the first, but he's like the person who kind of like helps Aoi get the idea to have the restaurant opened up, which he eventually uses to
Right.
start
I
paying off her debt.
I understand he's necessary. I'm saying he did a good job, and I'm glad he didn't characterize him as a stereotypical Japanese drunk old guy. So that makes me happy.
I wanted to just point out that they were both, whether by choice or just by accident, both these characters were very phonetic. They both emphasized their dialogue very heavily, which really made them stand out a lot more from the looser, more free-spirited voices of the younger characters, which I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it definitely made them both sound like they came from a different world than the other characters we get. Even though, yes,
they
I understand.
did.
I understand spirits are like hundreds of years old, and Shiro is like only 80. So he's technically young in spirit terms. I like also that Arbor's Elliot gave Matsuba a gruffness, but he didn't sound upset about it. He was very he's serious about it. Like, he's the kind of person that has obviously lived a lot and has got wisdom to what he's been doing, leading his people, what are they called? The Tengu. I learned a lot about folklore from watching this show. It was like watching Spirited Away all over again.
You should also watch Kami-sama Kiss, because you'll learn a thing or two there, too.
Yep, that's where I learned all my Tengu knowledge.
Yep.
I've already watched Fruits Basket.
Get out.
Get the fuck out of here. This is not Fruits Basket, you son of a bitch.
So time to take over this episode. Let's talk about the next group of people, including my favorite, Fox Boy. Woohoo!
All right.
Also, there's a Tanuki, a trash panda, and bitchy Elsa from Frozen.
Oh, I got a funny story about her.
Whoa, let me reel it back there. Whoa. What Mad Libs game are you playing, Gigi? That can't possibly be the actual characters in the show.
It is
your list.
Deal with it.
All right, so yes, the character. Now that we've got a resort to have our show in, you need to have some staff members in there, and we've got a lot of different characters in this. We have Kasuga, who is our Tanuki character, who doesn't have a whole lot going on right now, but acts as a very necessary additional girl character for the staff. We've got Fox Boy himself. We've got Genji, who is the nine-tailed fox character who can jump between a boy or a man or a woman if he really wants to be, and offers a lot of help in helping Aoi get her restaurant set up. And of course, we've got, she's not Elsa from Frozen.
She is.
Yet.
Yet.
She didn't let it go yet.
Aww.
We have Oreo, who is not Oreo.
Oreo.
And
She
she
is
wants
a
to be an
cookie.
Oreo,
I'm
though,
hungry.
you know?
Hurry up.
No, Jamal, no.
You started it.
We have standards. We have to abide by the podcast standards set by the government.
What government?
I don't know.
What
Podcast
standards?
standards set by me, you fool!
Alright, she's a blue-haired snow demon who gets really sick if she's near fire too often, and is also quite the bitch.
She also has a crush on the master. That's very important.
You know, everyone has a crush on the master.
Bitchy Elsa
the
is
most
best
vocal.
girl.
So, as far as who actually plays these characters, we're going to have to guess on this one. Gigi, who Who do you think?
Well, David Wald. Also, David Wald.
Oh yeah.
And David Wald. But my actual prediction.
I'm putting his picture upside down, sideways, and putting an eye patch over it.
Ooh, an eye
damn it.
patch. Ooh, that makes him hotter. Okay.
Damn it!
Oh my god!
So, for best boy in the show, the Fox Boy, who I never thought I would say that because, oh my god, I don't really care for Fox Boys, but whatever. I picked Howard Wang. Because he is smooth and gentle, and he's could be a cute little fox boy. The Tanuki I thought was a cute character. So I picked Megan Shipman because she's adorable. And for bitchy Elsa, I haven't heard her in a lot of things lately, and I miss her greatly. I picked my boo Dawn Bennett. Where are you? Please come back. I love bitchy Elsa. She's best girl.
Sad thing is, I also really liked her as the best girl too.
Yes.
Does this mean I'm shoujo trash too?
Yes.
Aw. All right, fine. I'll go next then. Fine. So for Kasuga, the character has got this is the most moe voice character of all the cast we've met so far, and Monica Rials does the best moe voice of the Funimation people. So I thought she could be a good Tanuki. Genji is interesting because he was the most shonen voiced sounding character in the Japanese, and probably because of his role in Hyoka as the goofy side character, I thought Dallas Reed would be a good pick to play Genji in this show.
Okay.
As both a little boy or the grown man or the woman, whichever one he wants to be. I'm not here to judge. But as for Snow Queen herself, because of her starring role as student council lesbian twin tails in Citrus, I thought Bryn April might be the best fit as equally pedantic, jealous romantic rival in this show too.
Would be interesting.
Jamal, you go next.
Actually, I want to go last.
I meant Lilac. Lilac, you go next.
I was hoping to go last, but okay, whatever. So I have 2 for Kasuga and then 3 each for Genji and Uryu. Kasuga, I kind of went similar lines. She's a cute, adorable little person, little girl, and I went similar lines with Noah. However, I did not pick Monica Rial. I had Sarah. We didn't have them because Konohana Kitan vibes are strong, ladies and gentlemen. I had Lindsay Seidel. And then for Uryu, I like how Jamal, when you predicted I think it was Suzudan earlier, you had both Dawn and Morgan in there.
Yep.
So my 3 predictions. Third choice was actually Jade Saxton. Second choice is Morgan Garrett. First choice is Dawn Bennett.
Yo.
Because especially with Dawn and Morgan, Konohana Kitan vibes are strong in this one. Very strong. Because both of their characters from that show can be relatively similar to this one here. So I was like, okay, let's go with that. As for Genji, I went with voices that I don't think have played this character type yet. Or have done this yet. Third choice, I also went with Dallas Reed. My second choice actually went to Justin Briner. My first choice, because I have been enjoying this gentleman a lot recently. Matt Shipman was my first choice as Genji.
You know what? I'm sure he's been enjoying you very much too.
Matt Shipman is a good boy. We love you,
Matt Shipman is a good boy. He is a good boy. He's doing a lot more lately around the Dallas area, so I have to give him some credit here, and I'm very very happy to see him in more things. I also just really wanted to see him as Genji.
Well, since we're on the subject of Genji, I'll start with him. I had 3 predictions for each. For Genji, I had Micah and Rico because they play characters similar to this. Of course, Micah being this character in Kami-sama Kiss,
right?
And Rico in Tokyo Ranbu. But my third prediction, I also wanted to see someone new, and I had Stephen Fu.
Oh, okay.
And I'll explain why later. Kasuga, I had this kind of a mascot character. I figured Bryn. I figured Kristen. And I figured Jade Saxon because she'd want to be in this show somewhere.
Are we talking Kristen McGuire?
What other Kristen is there?
I'm just checking. Cause it's good to have last names in there.
I mean, there could be a new Kristen that we just hadn't known got into Funimation recently.
Exactly.
Okay. And as for Oreo, because she can be kind of bitchy what she needs to be, I kind of had Bryn April as my second prediction, but I also had Jill Harris because I wanted like see them get outside their comfort zone. And then I took another look at the character. And I had Sarah Wiedenheft because this character kind of looks like her character in Monster Girls.
I hadn't seen Monster Girls, so I don't know which one that is.
In Interviews with Monster Girls.
Yes.
No, I know the show, I just don't know the characters.
She's the snow woman in that one, too.
Ironically, I had that thought right, I just had the wrong actress. Which is because, who is that, Noah?
So, now that we've gone through all the list, one of us must have gotten it right?
I came close, but no, tell me.
Well, let's see now. We've got 3 excellent voice actors for this one. Kasuga, our little tanuki, is voiced by Amanda Lee.
Amelie!
I love her.
We'll get to that. Let me just put all the names on the list there, and then we'll talk about them all individually.
All right.
And Ginji, our nine-tailed fox friend, is Stephen Fu. So yes, Jamal, you did get one of them right. Have yourself a cookie. And as for Oreo, it's Morgan Garrett.
Does that mean I also get a cookie?
You get half of a cookie.
Excuse you!
I get 1.5 cookies, then, cause
I don't fucking think so. You give me my full cookie, bitch.
yeah, give her an
Wow.
Oreo.
I'm done. I am shutting this podcast down. That is.
No, you are not, you son of a bitch.
Oh, wait, I can't. I don't have the power.
You do not have the authority. We're going.
But what in another life, I will shut this podcast down.
No, you
Let it go,
bitch.
Noah.
Now, it's just all these actors, you're like, who are these people? Well, Gigi knows all about Amanda Lee. You listeners out there may have heard her in some roles like Ellie Adams in Rio Rainbow Gate, the character Pei-Pain in Show by Rock 2, or Akiho Shinomoto in Card Capture Sakura Clear Card, which I'm allowed to talk about because that episode's already come out now. And she was also the performer 3A in Pop Team Epic. But that's not where you've heard her before. You have heard her in all of the good dubbed English English opening anime covers on YouTube.
Yes, she does a lot of anime covers.
1.6 million subscribers.
You go, girl.
Yeah, you go, girl. Now, as for Stephen Fu, that's one we've actually have talked about on the show before because he was Saito in Hakata Tonkotsu Ramen's. He was also Shota Yashiro in King's Game. He was the show that does not exist.
Wait,
Sorry, a lot of people were in that show. I'm sorry.
Yes, they were.
Who was he?
He was Shoto Yashiro.
Probably one of the ones who died early.
Oh, so we didn't talk about him. Okay.
We didn't discuss him. No.
All right.
No. I'm assuming everyone died in that show. Don't tell me.
If you've listened to the episode, you already know the answer.
Right. Or a show like Zoku Token Rambu Hanamaru. He was Goto Toshiro. Or in the show that we really should have talked about in the fall season, he was Itsuki Hashima in A Sister's All You Need.
Fuck
Get
off.
out.
I'll get out. But not before I talk about Morgan Garrett, who has been in a lot of shows, and has a really wide range as well. Like, to give you an idea, she voiced Ayame Shaga in Bento. That was the blonde-haired one with the glasses. She was Dia Kurosawa in Love Live Sunshine. She is Asmodeus in Seven Mortal Sins. And she was Sophie in Gosek.
I'm gonna spare you Megan's hatred. It's Daya.
Yeah, it is Daya.
Now that we've covered the bases on all the staff members of Tenjinya, Lilac, are these characters at all like the people that you work with?
You don't want to know the people I work with. It's very interesting. First of all, I want to hug and cuddle Amanda Lee. Like, so hardcore.
Same here.
Like, Kasuga is so adorable. So cute. I have Akiho vibes off of her. Because I have been watching Clear Card despite not having seen the original, which I don't know if it's the best decision, but yeah, she's very, very... I have such strong Akiho vibes for Amanda as Kasuga, and she's so adorable, such an adorable little tanuki. I want to pet her and snuggle her all to pieces. Because I don't have a pet. I miss my cat. Now I'm depressed. As... Way to go, me! I just made myself depressed. That's great. Go, me.
God. Let's lighten up a little bit. Let's talk about Fox Boys. Fox Boys make everything better.
Yeah, we may as well talk about Fox Boys. So Steven is very interesting because I haven't heard him in a lot of things. I mean, I've heard him in the second season of Token Rambu. I've more heard him in Hakata Tonkatsu Ramens, though. That's where more of my familiarity with Steven is right now. And
Same.
Genji is very, very interesting. Because he gets to play with his range a little bit here. Especially when we're first introduced to him, because he has to play a little kid, he has to play a woman, he has to play a little cute fox, which I also want to cuddle and pet all day long. So he gets to play with his range a little bit in that scene alone, and then the adult Genji, I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting. It's very different than what I expected, but at the same time, it is kind of along the lines what I was hoping for too when I predicted Matt, Justin, and Dallas. It's similar to what I was thinking in my mind. Just the last possible thing I expected to happen. And I think it's more because I'm not used to Steven's range quite yet, that the performance is just okay to me right now. I feel like with time and more me getting to know Steven's range as an actor and how he's going to portray Genji, I'll grow to love it a bit more. But as of right now, I am liking it, and I just love the little bit of versatility and range he got to play with with that first scene he got introduced with. But I think it's good. As for audio, Morgan is very sassy. Morgan,
That's a nice way of putting it.
It is. She's very sassy. She's a bossy, yet she's bossy, but she's also rather mature and sophisticated. She has that air of sophistication and maturity to her, but she also has her moments of when she is kind of a child in her own sense, because she has a crush on the master, and it shows that she'll do anything for the master, even try and drive this quote-unquote rival out of here named Aoi, and I think it comes off wonderfully. Like, when I looked at audio when I made predictions, I saw her character from Konohana Kitan, but having more sass to her, and that's exactly what I got from this. So I love Morgan Garrett in this role. I love it immensely.
And it's interesting that you got that much sassiness off of her, or that you got a good sense of her character just from those first 3 episodes. Yeah, that's actually a really good testament to Morgan's performance, because not only does she sound different from all the other characters, because she has a bit of an older, more of a regal voice to her, but her personality is also at odds with everyone else, who is either a servant who's trying to make, or a worker rather, who's trying to make all their guests really happy, or the one who is just trying to survive because she's got $1 million yen debt to pay off. And I really liked it. I liked how she flips between the I'm in charge and listen to me voice, and then what we get in episode 4 in her. She really bears her soul out and really shows her vulnerability. So high props to Morgan on that one. The Amanda Lee voice that she gives Kasuga is, yes, it's very adorable. And this is the one character that I wish we got more of, because she doesn't have a big role yet, even up to episode 8. And I really wish she did, because it's adorableness that I think would really serve well if she got, like, additional content to do. But from what we got now, Amanda Lee is just adorableness incarnate in a fluffy red package. And as for Stephen Fu, I also know him mostly from Hakata Tonkotsu Ramen, where he got to play the put upon and kind of naive character. And this one here, he's not naive, but he's very nice. He's this very good friend, good pal, like the kind of person who, you know, you're trapped in a fantasy world. You're trapped in a world of monsters. You need one good friend or someone that you can lean on, and he does that really well. I don't even know why exactly he's so he's so nice in the show. It's so refreshing to have a monster, quote unquote, who's really nice. And Stefan brings that across really well. He's got a good, nice range to him, a bit of a higher, younger voice character, but it never comes off as wimpy. It comes off as I can't say anything other than nice. I know that's a bad word in some circles, but he's nice, and that's good. It's good to have a nice guy in the circle. Try nice guys; we're worth it too.
I felt like that was like a direct hit to my heart.
What? Just because? Okay,
Gigi needs vanilla boys in her life, guys. We've gone through this.
I understand you like the bad boys, okay? I understand that you gravitate towards them, but
she
nice
needs
guys...
her vanilla. She has to have some vanilla. I love my vanilla boys.
Okay, fine. I'll let Gigi talk about the not vanilla boys next.
Can I talk about this vanilla boy first?
Yes.
Would it surprise you that he is my actual best boy in this show?
You're
No.
lying.
No, I'm not lying, actually.
I'm not surprised.
Who are you and what have you done with Gigi?
I'm not surprised, actually.
So here's the thing. Like, this character is super cute and super sweet. And if this were like a reverse harem, he would be prime husbando material. So
You're not wrong, actually.
I really like the Fox boy. And I don't know who Stephen Fu is. I mean, I'm sure he was in King's Game, but he's dead. So I don't.
Yes.
So I don't know who he is.
Everybody fucking dies.
That's a very sound guess. He was in
Yes.
King's Game, and he probably died.
No, he's definitely dead.
He's definitely dead.
But my note for this, are we sure this isn't Howard Wang? Because I heard Howard Wang a lot in this performance.
It is kind of similar, actually.
He really was super cute, and he does a really good job. The one thing that I would have wished was in the first episode where he flips through all the different forms is that the voices would have been differentiated a little more besides the pitch change. Like they were different, but I felt that there could have been like more nuances and stuff with like the little kid as opposed to the girl, as opposed to hot fox daddy that we're now getting. Sorry. Nice, sweet vanilla fox daddy.
Sweet vanilla fox daddy.
Stop.
That's his new name now.
Stop coding the characters. This is shoujo
I feel like Aoi could definitely fall in love with the fox boy. And what does the fox say?
Oh my god.
Stop
You
it.
would.
All right.
I am out.
Finally.
Lilac, let me shut the cast down, please. Let me shut this all down.
No.
Finally. As for my girl Amelie playing the Tanuki. So I've only heard her voice in one other anime so far, and that was in Gosick, as like this real passive, like kind of bitchy girl. So
Like
for
one
me,
episode character.
the one episode character. So for me, this was a huge switch and a huge show of her range to go from that to this. And I think she was super adorable. I thought she sounded very friendly, which I think this character kind of needs. And I love the tone of voice that she uses, even when the little Tanuki trash panda is annoyed. Like, it's still cute. So, Amelie, I love her a lot. And then finally, best girl, bitchy Elsa. Bitchy Elsa. Yes. That's about all I wrote down. No. I love all the levels of the performance, especially in episode 4, which stuff you will get to, but episode 4 is so good because it's all about bitchy Elsa. She is best girl, and I haven't heard a lot from Morgan, is that her name? I haven't heard
Morgan
a lot
Garrett?
from
Yes.
her either. So
Really?
I really like her voice though. She plays
You,
bitchy Elsa really
you probably
well.
have heard her in other things. You just probably haven't picked up on it before.
Probably. I can't remember ever discussing her, but I do enjoy this a lot because Elsa is my spirit animal. This girl is bitchy Elsa. Like, so she's basically me. She's hanging out with some dude hoping that he'll fall in love with her. I relate. So
I'm going to just run through a couple of things. Have you seen Ancient Magus Bride?
I've seen like 2 episodes of it.
Then you're not going to get that far. You probably haven't seen
You know
Danganronpa.
that one show that Hot Damn Cinnamon Roll was asking us about?
Yeah. Who is she? The blonde girl?
She's the... Yeah.
The short-haired girl?
Yeah.
My favorite character in that show? Oh, I love this
Yes.
Morgan girl now.
Yes, but we'll keep it up. But we'll keep it that under wraps.
Under wraps, that's right.
Oh,
Well, you
that's
look,
right.
Gigi,
that was a sneak
Gigi.
preview.
Gigi, you
What?
know her. She's also Sophie in Gosek.
Which one is
She's-
Sophie?
Dorm Mother. Dorm Mother.
Oh, the good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dorm Mother. Yeah, you've heard her.
I did like her. I did like her in that too. Okay, so apparently I like Morgan Garrett a lot. That's good to know.
I love how
Yeah.
you knew Amanda Lee more than you knew Morgan Garrett.
Because I like her a lot.
That's very interesting. Okay, so speaking of very interesting, Jamal, you go, man.
I guess I'll pick up where Gigi left off. Morgan Garrett. I think this is kind of therapy for her because Morgan Garrett plays bitchy very well. I mean, like, I guess she must have brought a lot of her own personality into it. Like, she gets stressed easily or something. I don't know what it is, but she makes the bitchiness of the character come out very well before she makes it relatable. And apparently, according to her on the tweet, she said it was typecasted, but you know, it's Morgan Garrett. She really does this very easily. She does a lot of these kinds of characters very easily. I'll tell you that right now, because there are some shows I've covered where she does that kind of characters very easily. This is pretty much therapy for her, but it's very therapeutic, and I really like Morgan Garrett all the same. Amanda Lee, this is the 3rd time in 3 months I've had to talk about her. And after the last show I covered, I just want to give her a big old hug, man, because, oh my god. I can't talk about it because it just kind of brings me to tears a little bit. But in this role, however, like I said in the last episode, I kind of hear notes of Brittany Lada, but I also hear notes of Akiho. And even though she doesn't do much in the show, I really do want to hear more from her. Gigi is a different story, however, because I thought, before I looked at the cast list, I thought that was Derek Snow.
Oh, I can hear it.
Yeah, because I can hear a cross between him, Alejandro, and Howard Wang, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
I hear it, yeah. I hear it.
Yeah, which is why I said that a little earlier, but it worked out very well. It worked out very neat. And Steven is somebody I really want to see more of, you know. Because, like I said, I've gotten him and Alejandro confused at times.
Well, if you watch A Sister's All You Need, then you'll get to hear him in a lot
that-
more.
Oh, Lord.
That's
Get
one
out.
Of the reasons, that's one of the reasons I picked him for Genji. That and Robbins.
And on that note,
Can we please just talk about this before I fucking explode?
I demand to go last on predictions for this one.
No!
Yes!
All right,
I
no,
demand
we're
to go
going
last.
to settle, guys. We're going to settle this once and for all. I am gonna go last on this one.
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
I am the host. I outrank you.
Dub Talk is not responsible for the actions of these three. I'm just sitting in the background.
That's the reason we brought you Jamal, because we needed a sane person. All right, you got these 3 crazy individuals, and we need your help.
No, seriously, I really
talk
want to go
about
last.
You're the
this
host and you need
soon.
my
No,
help.
no, 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 no.
I'm
Seriously?
going to
No, I
die.
really want to go last on my predictions because I have a fucking reason for all of these, and it's the most glorious thing in the world.
I want to die. Please let me talk.
Lilac, both of you want to go last on this one, okay? I'm going to take that power away from you both, all right?
You suck.
Yes. So, but
Hate you.
Speaking of taking your freedoms away from you,
God damn it!
Stockholm Syndrome.
We can talk about that later, okay? We're not in Sweden. We are in the spirit realm, which is being governed over by the Ogre King, also known as Odana, even though he's not actually called that at all in the show. That's just what's listed as his character name. I believe it's actually like the Japanese translation of Ogre God.
I think so, yeah. In the English, again, though, he's named Master.
Right, everyone refers to him as Master, kind of like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, where they don't actually have a name for him. They just call him the Master of the Castle.
Oh, Lord, the comparisons are back, boys and girls.
Get out, get out.
I did not learn the English language. I didn't get an English degree not to draw comparisons between classic literature.
Anyway.
Now, this character is the one who basically makes Aoi his bride because her grandpa owes him a lot of money that he racked up when he was alive. He is one of the individuals who governs over this entire spirit realm and is in charge of Tenjin-ya, the inn tavern where all this takes place in. Now, with this character design and this important role in the show, who could possibly voice him? Jamal, I need to know who you think voices him.
I had 3.
Okay.
First one was Garrett Storms, because he kind of looks like his character in Token Ranbu.
Ah, okay.
I would die in
I
the
can see
not
it.
good way.
I can see it.
No.
Well, save that thought for later, Gigi. The second one I had, because again, this show kind of reminds me of Kami-sama Kids, I copped out was Tatum.
Oh, God!
Well,
Here it is.
You're not wrong.
Here it is.
And the third one, for something different, I had Aaron Dismuke.
Oh, God!
She's just dying in a corner right now. What?
Excuse me, I need to go out in the hallway.
What?
Shit.
Okay, I think Gigi needs to go next on this one because I'm sorry, but what?
Stuff got that reference.
I did.
Stop banging your head under the microphone.
There's only one person who I wanted to play this fucking role.
Does his name start with David and ends with Wald?
He is my actual real prediction. And I want to die because do you know who plays him in the Japanese?
Bitch, that's my thing.
Reiji from Diabolical Lover.
Bitch, this is my thing now.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I'm dying.
Why? Why couldn't you do me this one solid Funimation? Why?
Shit.
They did it just to screw with you.
Oh,
Their
God.
entire HR department was planned around screwing
I don't think
you.
it was HR.
God damn it. It's all I wanted in the fucking universe.
Oh, right. That's it. Oh yeah. The
I gotta
world
go
could
out
blow-
in the hallway again. I'm too hot right now. My temperature's way too high.
Take an ice bath, Gigi.
no.
Get Oreo to come in the bath.
No.
Okay, no.
Steph got that
drunk at all.
reference.
You don't
Steph
get
got
drunk
that
at all.
reference.
Yeah. So take off all your clothes. It is the
You're not
spirit
singing
there.
Nelly on this podcast,
Oh
Noah.
boy. I'm trying not to die of laughter right now. It's great.
Dear Jesus, please forgive us. We have omitted all likelihood of being saved ever. Please do not try to
Giant
save
ogre.
us and have a wonderful
Daddy,
afterlife.
he's the DILF. He is Captain Hardpants and the Fun Police, all rolled into one monstrous package. Take that as you will.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Lilac, should I even ask at this point?
You honestly should go because I gotta stop dying over here.
And cue the
I'm
music.
so glad she broke you, not me again.
I'm trying not to die right now. Oh shit, hold on.
Come back to life.
Stop talking and maybe I will. Okay.
That's what she said.
Wow.
I don't even anymore.
I don't even know anymore. Oh, do I have to go next? I wanted to go last. You suck. Okay. So, here's the story with my predictions. I based my predictions solely on the seiyuu for this show. So the seiyuu, Katsuyuki Konishi. I based my 3 predictions on this seiyuu in order. My third choice, because he also voiced fucking Reiji Sakamaki, I also had David Wald.
Oh no! You are kidding me. Are you kidding me?
No. My second choice, because he fucking played Kenji Kazuma, I put Austin Tyndall in here.
Oh my god.
If Austin Tyndall voiced this, I would quit this podcast.
No, here's the best one. Because you're gonna sense a theme. I did not want to go with the stereotypical person. I did not want to go with Tatum. I did not want to go with anyone similar who's done a role like this before. So here's the kicker. My first choice for this role went to someone who voiced a character named Gen Hasegawa from Cheer Boys. If you are familiar with Cheer Boys,
I hate you so much right
you
now.
will know that Clifford
I am not
Chapin,
sleeping with you
will
at
know-
Anime Fest.
You will know that Clifford Chapin voices Gen, and I'm like, bitch, this man has not done a role like this before. Fuck it, Clifford Chapin's my first choice for this role, okay?
Remember what I said about Gen Hasegawa not slutty enough? Don't. We are not sleeping together at A-Fest. God damn it.
Too fucking bad. I ain't sleeping with Megan. She rolls around too much.
Look, you're all
And
sleeping
I'm
in the
walking away
bathtub
from
after
this
this.
conversation.
All of you are sleeping in the bathtub after
No,
this.
God, why?
legit though. I was trying to find voice actors who have not really portrayed this kind of character before. The closest one is probably David Wald from because of his role in Token Rambu. All 3 of them have been in Token Rambu, but his is probably the closest to the master in this situation. However, I was I'm not gonna lie, I was dead set on Cliff being this one because I'm like, you know what? This is something I've never heard him go with before. I'm like, you know what?
And with
I'm
good
very
reason.
curious about it. Let's go. Let's do this right now.
I'll admit, I do also like seeing voice actors stretch outside their comfort zone.
Exactly.
And,
That's what I was looking for.
yeah, it makes it interesting. But okay, fine. Of all your predictions out there, I only wanted one thing in this entire endeavor, and I didn't. I would have been fine with just this. I also was kind of in Lilac's camp here, and I wanted to add a new flavor to the Karma train, and I wanted Austin Tyndall to be.
Nice.
Are you
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
kidding me?
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Whoa,
He's a
whoa.
good actor. You do not insult Ken Kaneki.
I'm not
that poor
insulting,
child.
but I could never see him as a kind of character like this, ever.
But that's the reason why, is because it's
That's
so
the reason why.
outside
The
of
reason
what
why
we
is you
normally
want to get my pants off. That's the character and the voice you want to put in this character.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm going to add another frowny face to the chat, just like Jamal did here. Let me add that there because...
Jesus.
I'm gonna fucking spam you with that squirrel emoji again.
No!
Get out. These nuts,
No,
though.
no.
Gigi, you drive me nuts.
Are we good, Noah? Is that it was Austin your only prediction?
That was the only one I had.
Okay.
Well, thank God you're fucking wrong.
You know what? You're not any better, so welcome to my club, sister.
Ugh.
Anyway, who's
And
playing the
this is a
master?
The club's master, and he was the guy who is going to be your new master, is Chris Waycamp. Ladies and
Huzzah.
gentlemen. Not a single
Don't
one.
ever say to me he's gonna be my new master. That sounds insulting.
I volunteer
Jamal.
as tribute.
He is your master,
Jesus Christ.
and he's been
Fucking
and
damn it.
he's a master of a couple of different things actually.
Oh, no.
For instance, he's been in a couple of shows that you viewers out there may have heard of before. He was Rokusesko. I can't pronounce this right. Rokusko in Classroom of the Elite. Am I saying that correctly?
I don't know. I haven't
Yeah,
watched that show.
That
I
show's
don't care
awful.
about that
Damn
show.
it. All right. He was Daichi Nagaoka in Handshakers,
Oh,
the
fuck that
greatest
show.
show that we have never covered before.
No,
Get
go
out.
away.
That's not how you say anime Gatsuris.
That is not how you
Behind-
say Konohana Kitan.
Behind
Well, that too, definitely.
the bar at the end of the show, Jamal, you, me, and a select Brofist, because I do agree with you. We need to cover anime guitarists as well. Chris has also been Atsuhiko Agato in Kado, The Right Answer, and he was Bruno von Gladsreich in The Royal Tutor, which a name I only put on here because I wanted to say that name.
Also, side note, he's also Kodai in Star Blazers Space Battleship Yamato. Side note.
I didn't know if we were going to be covering that or not.
It's already out.
We just
that episode just came out Friday.
Oh my god.
I have not been online for the past 3 days. Give me a break.
Surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker.
It came out 6 days ago, though.
I don't know what day it is anymore. It's Christmas right now, right?
Wow.
Yes, give me a present.
Okay,
way behind.
Lilac, I wouldn't let you go last on the prediction portion, but I will let you go first in talking about Chris.
Damn it, I was hoping to go last year again. But
Okay,
you know
fine. To be fair, I will let you go last on that one. Fair enough.
Thank you.
All right, fine. Gigi, tell us about your new master.
My new master, Chris Waycamp by Gigi Palooza. Well, at first, I was on the salt train. Choo choo! Because David Wald is really my lord and master and the Dilf Whisperer. I was not about to accept anyone else. Until I heard Chris's voice come out of his mouth and holy fucking shit.
Yes!
Excuse me while I go out in the hallway again. TM Devil's line. Because oh my god. Oh shit. I can't even like express it in things other than like grunts. It's just so good. It is so good. Like all the veiled sexual references that I'm the only one who gets because I'm a horrible human being. I was just like, please devour me. Anything you want. You are my master. Anything at all. Oh my god. This is like a meaner, more arrogant Bruno who still wants to marry me. And oh my god. And when he wore that mask in the beginning and he was totally like jerky, I was, oh my god.
I have so many questions for you right now, Gigi.
The answer to all of them is yes. Guys. I gotta go in the hallway.
I will say, you're the only one who's honest enough to say all of that. So,
well, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, no, I'm not sorry. Because if you do a good job at seducing the girl who is listening with just your voice, because I don't find this character design attractive at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good freaking job, dude. Bravo, because this is the audience you are catering for and it is working.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Now I'm gonna go out in the hallway and let you guys talk.
Come back. We'll call for you after we've talked about you behind your back.
Give me like 3 minutes. That's all I need.
Okay. God damn it.
Yeah, so Jamal, I'm assuming that your reaction wasn't quite as syntastic as Gigi's there?
Well, when I first listened to the episode before I looked at the cast list, I was like, holy shit, that's David Matranga.
Again?
You'd be surprised.
I mean, you're not gonna. I'm not gonna lie. I actually consider David Matranga as a prediction for this character because I haven't really seen him play a character like this either.
Yeah, I thought it sounded like him, but then I looked at see it was Chris Waycamp. I was like, huh. My contention is this: it was pretty good for like some of the like anger moments and pretty much moments of resistance. You know, you try to force out and beat your body stuff, but when it comes to the softer moments, all I hear is just Aizawa.
Fucking Aizawa.
Literally, that's all.
It's kind of true, actually.
That's all I hear. It works for some of the moments, but for some of the softer moments, I feel like he didn't need to be as gruff, you know, like dial it back a bit. I mean, I understand choices before voices, and Chris Waycamp is a great choice. It's just, you know, sometimes that gruffness is a little bit can kind of take me out of it. It's the same problem I had with Jason Douglas in Cardcaptor Sakura. Like, you don't need to be gruff for the softer moments, you know. Mm-hmm. You can just speak a little softly. And the emotion will flow even better. But I think that also kind of ties into Gigi's point about could the script kind of be in dub titles and stuff. But
Now,
that's a different story.
well, in terms of parts where you thought that he didn't need to be as gruff, were you talking about like where he's trying to be more romantic and more sentimental?
Yeah.
Okay. Because yeah, I mean I can agree with you on that. If not for the fact that if he's got that if he's got that timbre in his voice, because keep in mind he is an ogre god. You know, he's not Shrek, but he's not completely human either.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because I get, you try to be gruff because, you can't tell the age of the character because, it's kind of a disguise for him. But at the same time, like, if you try to put on a facade, like, you need to dial it back a bit when your character dials it back a bit. I mean, overall, it was pretty decent. It was pretty serviceable job. I mean, I can kind of get behind it. It's just something a bit of a nitpick to me, that's all.
And that's a fair nitpick to have. Because, like Gigi said, this is not a highly attractive design for the character. And to be fair, this is a very basic looking show. None of it screams.
This animation is so fucking piss poor. Like, I am just sad.
It's Gonzo. What do you
no,
fucking expect?
No. It's not just Gonzo. It is late 2010s Gonzo.
Yes.
This is far past the studio's prime. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that this even was a Gonzo production.
I was surprised too, because when I was watching it earlier and I saw the Gonzo label, I'm like, oh shit, this is a Gonzo thing? I didn't realize it.
I know. Wasn't that such a flashback when the logo shoots on and it's like, Gonzo? And you're like, holy cow, it's so great to be back in 2005 again.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Wow, it's so nice to be able to buy a house before the the mortgage crisis happens. And holy
Point
cow,
made.
American Idol's still on the air.
American Idol is still on the air.
Shit, you're right.
Anyway.
Okay, so Chris Waycamp's performance in this is the one that I think could have probably sucked the worst if they didn't understand the character at all. Because from the first design choice, with the mask and then with his facial expressions, you could easily typecast him as someone who's pushy, demanding, and overly controlling in both his acting and his voice, his timbre. But both Jade and Tia seem to understand that he's a boss. And I mean that in the best sense. Like, he's a guy who is in charge of multiple people, understands how to run an enterprise, and kind of sees his relationship with Aoi as almost a business transaction. So he doesn't have too much gruffness to him. Like, he's got a rustle in his voice, to be sure, even when he's not being super serious and he's just talking about things like the kinds of food that he likes or sentimental thoughts about Shiro's backstory. All of that makes him sound like the kind of guy who I could understand why he's in charge, because he just gives off that vocal sense of I can get shit done. I can't control, but I can delegate people very well. That's why everyone respects me. Like, I'm like the godfather of this world without having the rough, thick Italian accent. So yeah, Chris's role in all of that, in everything he says in this, comes off with that nice sense of I'm in control attitude to it, without being too gruff or too tough. So I don't even have the nitpicks to say on this one. It's just, for a role that I don't think is attractive in a way, I still think is a very believable boss character.
Neato.
Speaking of the boss, hey Lilac.
Boss lady. So when I'm looking at this character and the kind of character this is, if I'm looking at the trope of it anyway, this is a Bishi supernatural lead character that has to seduce the female audience and be that seductive voice.
Yep.
And like I was saying before, when I was predicting this character in particular, I was staying far away from the typical typecasting that we've seen, because J. Michael Tatum could have done this beautifully. I think Eric Vale would have done a phenomenal job too, and the Seiyu actually has voiced several roles that Eric Vale also voices, side note. But I wanted something very different. Chris Waycamp was, oddly enough, the last person I expected to jump into this role. But he is different, and he is the kind of voice that I'm looking for here. He melds his normal baritone register that we're very used to with roles like Aizawa and the like, but and I'm gonna use food terms on this one, he adds a little bit of spice to it. He does add some spice to it to make the master both cunning and seductive at the same time. And this is definitely a very different kind of role for him. Because the closest thing you could probably say he gets to with this role, character-wise, could potentially be Bruno, but that's it. Bruno is the closest, but Bruno is probably far more bombastic and goofy compared to this character. So there's very drastic difference in terms of personality. So with what this character is, in a stereotypical trope kind of sense, and for what the character calls for, I wanted different. Chris Waycamp gives me different. This makes me very happy. Because
I'm glad that you could like produce words out of what I meant to say with my incoherent moaning and screaming.
I think Gigi and I are on the same wavelength. But,
yes.
But I can just say it more eloquently than her right now. But
I'm tired.
But yeah, like with everything that the character is, he has his soft moments. He does have to be the boss, so he has to be tougher at times too. So he plays those different facets, I think, very, very well. And in terms of the goal of this character for the female audience is to seduce the female audience, I think he does that, and in spades. Like, I dig it, sir. Bravo. I'm loving it right now.
Sweet. I'm also glad that you could put words to the thoughts there, because I don't think either me or Jamal could quite convey the idea of attractiveness. Exactly.
This is why you have me, boys and girls.
It is.
I'm spent.
Well, tell you what, speaking of spending, let's talk about the final character on our list who acted as collateral and has a huge amount of money to pay off. But that's okay, because she's a tough woman. She's a strong, independent woman who I think is going to be alright in this world of demons and monsters. And that is, of course, our lead girl, Aoi Tsubaki, who is a college girl. She's got a knack for cooking, which is really beneficial in this world, because she was taught by her grandpa how to prepare dishes in a way that the spirits of the world, of the demon world, actually enjoy. Specifically, they mentioned that demons like not as heavily seasoned. They like slightly blander tasting dishes, at least to our own palates.
Right.
And because she understands that, she can prepare dishes in a way that the people of the spirits like. Now we need to find someone who can voice this. And this is going to be very difficult to do. Gigi, do you have a guess for who voices Aoi?
Aside from David Wald.
Who is not... David Wald could do this. I would say, fine. Put him in a dress and put him in a kimono and put him in a recording studio.
The joke has come full circle now, boys and girls.
We're done now. I have no more David Wald predictions. It was a good run, though, Boo. It was a good run. My actual prediction was Jeannie Tirado, because cute girl, Jeannie Tirado. That was what I had. She also can be a little tough, too, from Kiss Him Not Me, and she can be a little goofy, which I don't think is what this role really calls for, but it would have given this role more personality, I think. So
all right. Jamal?
I had 3 for this. Again, going back to all those comparisons to those other shows. Well, for one, my third prediction was Lindsay Seidel, because again, Konohana Kitan.
Okay.
My first 2, my second prediction was Tia Ballad, because of course Kami-sama Kiss. But the first prediction I had, as soon as I saw this in the sub, this reminded me instantly of the Ancient Magus Bride, and I want to see Danny Chambers in this role.
Can I go next?
Okay.
I love how you were just... okay. So I had 3 predictions as well. 2 of them are actresses who have played a similar role in a similar show. Third choice was also Tia Ballard, because of Kami-sama Kiss. My second choice was actually Jill Harris, because of Code Realize. And my first choice for something a little bit different, I went the same vein as Jamal, and I actually picked Danny Chambers.
Interesting. I mean, there are a lot of parallels between Magus Bride and this show.
There's a lot of parallels between this show and Kami-sama Kiss as well. So,
And Restaurant to Another World.
yup. And maybe to an extent Konohana Kitan, so...
Definitely.
Definitely Konohana.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I mean, Kanohana, in the sense that both of Kanohana Kita and the show are about helping guests in the inn with their various needs in an old Japan setting.
Kind of.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
I'm glad that you actually also predicted one of my only prediction, and that was the illustrious Miss Jill Harris.
Aha!
For I don't think I had any particular role that she's done in the past for the reason I picked this one. I think it was just her timbre. Like every time that she's played a dramatic role before, she's got Aoi is not a young girl. Like she's in the Japanese doesn't even have a stereotypical moe voice. She's got
It is stated she is 19 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, age doesn't always mean anything in anime. I point.
But in a show like this, it gives you an idea as to what she should probably sound like.
Right, she's supposed to sound like a young woman, not a girl, not a woman, but a young woman.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jill.
You want to know something funny? Before I trimmed my list, Jill Harris was one of my predictions, but I had to drop her.
Aha!
I'm not a girl, not yet a woman.
Oh god damn it.
All I need is time.
What up, Britney Spears?
A moment that is mine.
Anyway, who's actually Aoi? Who is actually Aoi?
And interestingly enough, this is one of the times where none of us got it right. Not even
One
close.
of the times we're wrong majority of the time. What are you talking about?
I know, but I'm trying to be courteous to all of you fine people. Which, by the way, to all you people who have gotten this far in the episode, the secret code word is cucumber.
I love your secret code words,
I'm
Noah.
making shit, man.
I love your
I'm not
secret code
changing
words.
it. I'm not changing it. You
I
can't
love
stop
your
me.
code words whenever you're in an episode and there's suddenly a code word. I love it. Cucumber is your code word. Quick, put it in the comments now.
You got it.
God.
And especially if you... Okay, so the performer who plays Aoi is Emily Neves.
Huzzah!
Yes. Not a single one of us got this right. But that's okay because Emily is amazing. And she has done many roles that you've probably heard before. Like I said at the top of this episode, Emily is a bit of a chameleonic performer in that she's jumped between Funimation and Sentai film works. So her resume is all over the place. But you've probably heard her as Tatsuki Gazumazawa from the Fate Kiliad Linear Prisma Ilia franchise. I think I pronounced that correctly.
Who the hell
almost.
knows?
Almost.
That one Fate show. She's also
The Moe Fate show.
Linesia from Log Horizon. One that I didn't realize this was her until recently. She played Angel in Angel Beats. But
Yep.
you all probably heard her, or at least the first time you recognized her was as Umaru Doma from Himato Umaru-chan.
Yay.
The little evil gremlin herself. But that's okay, because this is a very different role from Gremlin Girl. And to kickstart the discussion, I want... Who should I go? I'll go first on this one. I'm taking the thunder. I'm going to talk about her first this time. This is a character voice that is supposed to be a young woman, and Emily hit it really well. I don't know exactly how old Emily is, but I think this is her natural speaking voice, because it doesn't sound young, and it doesn't sound older. It sounds right in the middle range, and it also is not super cutesy because she's a serious person. Like, she's taking her situation seriously. She doesn't spaz out when things get crazy. She takes it like someone who is goal-oriented and determined to get the job done correctly. And that's really refreshing, especially in a show like this where it could have been shoujo trash, like Gigi said, where it's a girl's wish fulfillment fantasy of hot guys parading themselves around for you. But this seems more like the kind of character who is actually inspiring to watch. Like, I'm watching her and I'm like, I don't know if I could be as composed and as professional as Aoi is in the show. And Emily captures that really well in both dealing with problems, dealing with heartaches, not taking crap from the monsters and the demons who are around her, but also not letting that make her a cynical person either, because she's got a soft side to her too. Like, who else would be nice enough to make up tofu ice cream and actually make it taste good? That has got to be magic in and of itself. So for everything else that could have gone into this character, Emily gets it, performs it really well, and comes away with a really standout, unique voice to a lead female character that I'm really glad got the due that she deserves. Lilac, you get to go next.
Alright. See, unlike I think all y'all, I haven't seen Umaru-chan.
What?
I've only seen one episode.
So,
The only reason to watch it is because of the dub.
All right,
So-
all of you, that is one of the things we were watching at A-Fest.
so this more than anything was the biggest surprise, even more of a surprise than Chris Waycamp as the master here. Because I'm not, compared to Chris Waycamp, I'm not familiar with Emily's range, because I haven't seen Umaru or half the other things she's done. But I think it's a really good fit, because Aoi, the thing that, when we were talking about Aoi, she's not a girl. She's not a full-fledged adult. She's a young woman. She's a 19-year-old girl, and I think she has to sound fairly young, but at the same time, considering how mature Aoi is and how independent she is, there has to be that sense of maturity and independence in that performance as well, and I think Emily does capture that very well. She's not a pushover compared to some other leading heroines who could possibly be in a similar situation, and that's what makes the character very refreshing, especially with a lot of very, 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 very shoujo trash shows like Devil's Line, like Diabolic Lovers, like those shows where more Stockholm Syndrome is thrown in for good measure. And I really do like Emily as Aoi. It did take a little bit for me to get used to it, but only because this is the first time I'm hearing Emily in a lead role. This is the first time I'm really getting to hear her range and her perform as an actress. So it's taking me a little bit of time to get used to it. However, I do see where this performance is going, and I am enjoying where it's been going as of right now. So kudos to you, Emily. I need to watch more stuff you've done, clearly. Because I own Umaru-chan? Did I buy Umaru-chan? No, I did not buy Umaru-chan. I remember now. I did not buy Umaru-chan. I need to watch Umaru-chan. Note to self, I gotta watch Umaru-chan.
Lilac, is there anything that you are not watching right now?
Do you want to take a look at my shelf? Like 80% of my
you wanna
shelf
see
I'm not
my-
watching.
Do you want to see my shelf of all things that I'm not watching?
We can share our shelves later, okay?
Indeed, we will share the shelves later. On that note, Gigi, thoughts, comments, concerns. Emily, for president?
Emily for president?
No, actually not. So I kind of have some kind of issue with this performance, and I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, except that it's not... there's something about it that rubs me the wrong way. I don't know if it's some kind of enunciation thing that's going on, or like the little warble that she has in Aoi's voice. Something about almost every line that she speaks to any character, except when she's talking to herself, almost feels flat or patronizing to me. So I don't know what's up with that. Like, it almost sounds like a little boy. I don't know. I think this is coming off Umaru, where she was fantastic in Umaru, got my W in Umaru for Best Actress in a Comedy, and she had beautiful, pretty Umaru-chans to work with. Now, I don't know if maybe because this character has a more plain character design, she didn't feel the need to make the voice as pretty or as standoutish as Umaru was, but there's just something about it that I don't get.
Now, the idea that you said that she's not as pretty this really isn't a character that, at least from a character design perspective, isn't supposed to be pretty. Like,
Right, that's what
this
I'm
is a very
saying.
chaste show. There's no fan service. There's no
Right.
any
But
of that.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if maybe the voice that she had for Pretty Umaru was a more put upon voice, like she knows that she's pretty, like Umaru knows that she's pretty, so the voice has to sound prettier. I don't know. There's something about it that really just I can't get behind here. I don't know. It's just something in the way that it sounds. It kind of sounds like very true to the lip flaps, which sometimes could be an issue, like if you're trying exactly to enunciate within lip flaps. I don't know. It's not what I pictured Aoi sounding like. And even in the Japanese has sort of like a similar timbre going on. So I understand why she was cast as this role. Like they almost sound like the same tone. But there's something about the Japanese voice actress who I can really get behind and understand Aoi. I will give her this, though. In the parts where she's crying in her bedroom and, like, talking kind of to herself about, like, her grandpa and is like, oh, you know, I was going to say, oh, Oni-chan. But no, like, oh, grandpa, like, you know, why did you do whatever it is that you did? When she's soft, Aoi, like, I really felt those moments. But when she's talking to any other character, I feel very patronized. Like, there's something about it that rubs me the wrong way. It doesn't, wreck anything for me. I think her acting skills are doing what they're supposed to do. It's just, for me, there's something about her interpretation of this character that I can't get behind. And it's just personal. So...
Okay.
Apparently, my personal opinion.
Okay.
Now,
but I love her, and hello, Umaru won Best of the Year. So
yes, but this is a completely different beast altogether.
Exactly, which is why I'm saying what I'm saying.
So, Jamal, in terms of we seem to have a schism going on here. Which side are you gonna join?
I'll let you know in a second, but right now my opinion is, holy shit, I thought that was David betraying me.
God damn it!
How long have you been holding that in?
God damn it!
You've been holding that for 5
about
minutes.
a few days, I guess. But no, seriously, I actually thought it sounded like Alex more. To which, if that was the case, Megan would have jumped for joy because she would have had the leading role. But for me, the problem was the kind of speech patterns, and this was before I looked at the cast list. It was kind of speech patterns and the way she talks that it didn't really kind of click with me instantly. And then I see some of the names, I was like, wait, what? Because I'm a tiny bit familiar with her, because I've watched, Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions, and she was fantastic in that. And then, there's not really too many shows I can think of. Anyway, I think probably what Gigi's point of contention comes from is the fact that she's also the script writer. So when you have to write a character for something like yourself, you're visualizing what you would probably say, or somebody else would probably say in situations she has to deal with. But I like the personality a bit, but the scripting just kind of makes things seem a little off. As a matter of fact, the only way her character could actually click with me, it took another character that she's voicing in to kind of put things into perspective, if you will, which I know will be covered in later episodes. Surprise. But
I feel like I know who you're talking about. I'm just gonna type it in the chat real quick, just so. Is it this one?
Oh yeah.
Aha!
Which is kind of weird, but at the same time, like, it helped me put her range into perspectives. So it actually starts to mellow out as the episodes go on. I mean, she manages to match the character, I guess similar to Seiyu, but I kind of stopped watching the sub about episode 3 or so. So I can't really say for sure. So right now, I'm kind of in between all three of y'all, mostly between Gigi and Lilac on how the characters played off.
Okay.
But I thought she did a pretty good job. It's not a voice I'm familiar with, that's the thing.
It sounds like everyone's having a different reaction based on what they want, what they expected out of this character. And that kind of leads us a little bit into final thoughts, because this is a show that I didn't really know what to expect going into it, and it gave me something slightly different the more I let it kind of work its magic on me. And there may be a different perspective from you three in terms of the lead character roles the further you get into it, because I guarantee that your reaction to the characters in episode 3 will be completely different than how you're feeling in episode 6 and beyond.
Okay. Okay, I get you.
So as far as the final thoughts on this dub goes, because we had a lot of silly moments in the past 2 hours of talking.
Yeah.
Maybe we should probably knuckle down and talk seriously here for a bit. Gigi, do you have serious thoughts on the overall dub?
I hope Jade Saxton cast David Wald in the later episode.
Okay, that's it. I am
No,
taking back all of your cookies. None for you. No rice balls.
I can't eat them anyways. No, for real. So this show I really wanted to like a lot. Dub notwithstanding, this is not one of my favorite shoujo trashy shows of the season. That honor goes to Wotakoi and Real Girl, which are more in the trashy realm. I'm getting a lot of slice of life vibes from this show, which automatically makes me bored because I hate slice of life anime. But the dub for this is good. I flip between the sub and the dub because, let's be real, Reiji Sakamaki voices the master in Japanese, so I have to flip between them. But Chris Waycamp had exceeded all my expectations that I had for this character and his performance. I think this show is actually probably easier to watch dubbed than it is subtitled. It's good for the first 4 episodes. I'm curious to see if it will get even better because I'm waiting for the emotion to kick in. So I'm curious to see how it will be later down the line. And this show is 2 core, which means they're going to dub it again next season, which I surely hope that this is not the only shoujo trash show that Funimation chooses to dub next season. If it is, I'm going to be kind of sad because there's some good stuff coming up. But everybody is doing what they can and doing a good job. Parts of it really click with me. Parts of it really don't click with me. So I'm like middle of the road, which is how I feel about the show as a whole.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure that next season, as far as shoujo trash goes, we will be seeing a show called My 13 Princes or something.
Oh, Lord.
No, Sentai's going to take that if anyone. I guarantee it right now.
There's a free idea for you, Japan. Start making a show called My 13 Princes and make it as trashy as you can.
You mean My Tale of 1,000 Sleeping Princes, which is coming? Thanks.
Is that actually a title?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
I can't even make parody shows anymore. They're actually making them.
Yep.
I'm running out of things to parody. All right.
Step up your game, man.
All right, my parody show is going to be the world is made of Legos and I am the Mega Blocks. There we go.
Okay, bud.
So Jamal, this show's kind of all over the place in terms of reaction goes. What was your final takeaway from the episodes you've seen so far?
Well, as much as I hate to piss off GP, I ain't really seen this much of a shoujo trash. And I do like slice of life, especially ones that like in contemporary Japanese, because the whole food thing kind of appeals to me though, because I'm pretty much a cook in real life, and I love seeing all like the different aspects of Japanese culture as well as its cuisine. I mean, I want to be able to. I feel like I'm learning a bit from this show, and I feel like I'm learning a bit from the characters. I do want to know more as time goes on. As for the dub, however, it's pretty decent. It's pretty solid. I mean, like I said, I do have potential with the 2 leads, but that's because one I never really heard in many roles, and the other, well, we love you, Chris Waycamp. I got nothing but love for you, man. It's just, it's just me. That's all. But, for the effort that Jade and Tia put into this show, I think is pretty decent. I think if there are any faults, it's because, you know, it's mostly a Gonzo production. There tends to be some faults at some points. I mean, the last Gonzo show I watched, I think, was 18F. And that had, I don't even want to get into that yet. So.
Oh, Lord, 18F is a mess in and of itself.
The Gonzo brand is not a trade of quality anymore.
And therein lies the problem, because if it's not a trademark of quality, then the dub is kind of hit or miss with some people, as you've seen here tonight.
Well,
but for what they're given, I think they did a pretty good job, you know.
Well, if I can go off of the whole, they did what they could with it, this is a show, and I'm talking about the actual original Japanese show, that is very safe. There's not a whole lot of challenges being taken in terms of characters, deep backstory, and I know this comparing to what I was watching at the same time, because I watched this while I was also watching March Comes In Like a Lion, which is a very deep psychological angst-fueled show, and this was Kakuriyo is the exact medicine I needed to counteract that, because it is a soft, warm blanket at the end of the day with a cup of hot cocoa to soothe you in, with characters that are don't have as many problems, but are, like, you can relate to the struggles that they're going through. And the dub carries that across very well. The writing is fine, the acting is all fine, and if they have the best moments in the show, the actors play it up as best as they can. So, I don't really have anything extraordinary to say about the dub. Like, I've had some great things to say about some of the performances, but the overall package is, it's a fine show with a fine premise that I can't imagine this being anyone's, like, absolute favorite show of the season, but it is a necessary one if you need to counteract all of the high science or high melodrama or high action shows that are going on throughout the season. It's a necessary addition to your diet, as it were. You can't eat pizza all the time. You have to eat some vegetables to go along with it. And only other thing I could say on this is they're giving this way more quality over the Funimation Studios than I think it honestly kind of deserves. It's just an okay show, and it's getting a better than okay dub. Lilac, you have the floor for the final thoughts of the final thoughts.
I mean, not gonna lie, more shows geared towards a female demographic is a great thing. So not gonna say anything on that one. But for this dub and this show, having only seen 3 episodes, I think it's a really good start. Honestly, it's a little rough early on, but the more you watch and the more you do get into it, and it is definitely a fun little effort on all fronts. And from the directing, the writing, and the casting, I think this one's probably a little bit of an underdog sleeper hit to me, because unfortunately most shoujo type shows go under the radar half the damn time for people, which is depressing. But I think this is a fun, wholesome show that's just very sweet and very charming, all the while having these boys try to seduce you like there's no goddamn tomorrow. But that's the nature of the beast there. And in terms of the cast, it's a very different cast than what anyone would normally expect, which is what makes me the happiest, because the show has been done before, but it's not going to the stereotypical performance realm for this show, which is what the big thing I can appreciate with it. I mean, because despite even if they went with the stereotypical route in terms of the casting, that would have been fine and dandy. But I love how Jade and Tia are thinking outside the box, and they're trying to bring in different people and try new and exciting things for people who have never really gone to this route before, i.e. Chris Waycamp. But it's definitely a very, very solid start to me. And what time is it? It's almost 11 o'clock for me. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to catch up on it in the next couple of hours because I do have to work tomorrow. But this is definitely a fun show, and I am definitely going to keep watching it. I love it so far.
Jamal, Gigi, are you guys planning on keeping up with this as well?
I am.
Maybe. I mean, there's more shows I'd rather spend my time on. Like Magical Girl Ore, which should have gotten a dub this season.
It's not full-on trash. It's not Gigi's full-on trash.
Right, I understand.
I can name at least 3 other shows that could have been dubbed by Funimation this season that weren't, instead in favor of other shows with a male demographic. So this is the shoujo show we got. This is the shoujo show I'm gonna watch. This is the shoujo show I'll buy because I'm voting with my wallet. Even if I don't like it, I will still pay for it because I want Funimation to dub more shows like this.
Yep.
Wow. All right, there we go. That's a wonderful segue actually into where people can actually watch the show. So if you are listening to this and you're thinking, I gotta see the show they're talking about. I gotta know what the heck they're talking about. You are in luck because Funimation.com is the place to go to watch all of their both simuldub shows, which does require a membership, or all of their older shows, which you can watch for free. And if you would like to watch this show, you can actually enjoy a 30-day free trial of Funimation's services. Warning though, they do require you to enter your credit card before you can get that free account, and they will start charging you after the 30-day trial is up. So if you do not want to continue to pay for the service, you can cancel that beforehand, but I don't think you'll want to because you'll be so enamored with the over 9 million minutes of anime goodness that they have available. New stuff coming in every week because they are on top of their simuldub game. And of course, they've been in the business for over 10 years. So there's a huge backlog of stuff that none of us will ever get to watch because we will not live forever. But if you want to watch all of our stuff, actually, we have a YouTube channel, which you may be watching here, or as Lilac has been in the process of converting all of our files into audio-only format, you may be watching it elsewhere. So,
Eventually, you'll be listening to us elsewhere. Eventually. Work in progress, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. I'm not entirely sure what stage that's going to be at when this episode goes up, but that is in the works.
Yes.
So, but like I said, we have our YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you are not already so that we can watch that subscription number go up. Or follow us on Twitter. Twitter is the social media feed where we post most frequently. Both our updates, plans for what we're doing, and silly posts because we all have access to that account, and sometimes we just like to hijack it for fun. That account is at Dub Talk Podcast. I think we also have an Instagram and a Tumblr feed, as well as a Twitch channel. All of those are also Dub Talk Podcast. So we are covering the whole realm of the internet social media sphere. Speaking of the social media sphere, these fine hosts who have taken their night off would like to tell you what they are doing when they're not doing podcast stuff. Gigi, what you doing?
I am on Twitter talking about boys and Udapri Shining Live, which is apparently all I do lately with my life. I just autoplay for days. Masato event, please 10% me. I also have a YouTube channel where I post scouting videos and, again, talk about boys and shoujo trash. I also have another podcast called the Shoujo Trash Showdown, where once a month my friend Gwen and I talk about shows like Kakuriyo, which we already did actually. So you can find back episodes on my channel, and I have to grind this event so I don't drop my rank. So
nice.
Life goals, Gigi. Jamal, what you doing?
Usually on YouTube at Jamstar1. I have a blog. It's collected dust at the moment. I am trying to work on a project of my own, but well, we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, you can find me on Twitter at Jamstar529. If you have any angry comments, dispositions, I can also be found at Mega Man 9. But no,
Never
seriously,
gets
I can be found. Yeah, I can be found on Twitter, Jamstar529. Just give me a shout if you want to talk or anything.
Sweet. Lilac, do you do anything?
I'm gonna. I do this thing called adulting.
Oh, tell
Don't
us.
we all?
True
No,
facts.
not all of us. Some of us are still, refusing to go into adulting, kicking and screaming.
You're
Look
not
at
wrong.
You. Yes, you, Chad.
Who the fuck is Kyle?
Who the fuck is Kyle? That Kyle's an adult, guys. Let's not talk about that. No, the only other place aside from listening here, I am on Twitter. God damn it, at Lilac Anime Review with reviewings about REVUE, where I'm just talking about daily life and adulting and things like that, and how excited I was to build a goddamn dresser a couple weeks ago. And
such an adventure
the
to watch.
struggle was real when building that damn thing. Not gonna lie, but it worth it in the end. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter there, and I'm actually working on other side projects right now, potentially, but I'm not gonna talk about it right now. But yeah,
Same.
To be continued.
to be continued.
Sweet.
Side note, I was not paid by David Wald for mentioning his name
Several
so many times
times.
in this episode, nor am I affiliated with the estate of David Wald.
God damn it.
That's even worse. Like, at the very least, you could have made some money off this. I bet he would have paid you. And I am NoahClue, and you can find me on Twitter at NoahClue, where I talk about the world of animation, both the classic cartoons of the West or the new stuff from the Japanimation people. Or sometimes I just post pictures of my kids because kids are awesome. Or I also have a YouTube channel, which is Journey Traveler, which needs to be updated with new content related to the wide world of animation. I've been reading really extensively recently about the actual old school animation, both the West and the East side. So I'm hoping to use that to fuel some more discussions about the medium, because there's a lot more out there than just the new fresh stuff coming out of Japan. Contrary to popular belief, there is more than just simuldubs available for watching.
Shocker.
I mean, you have no idea. There's some old school French stuff that you people have never heard of before. There's really experimental
Au revoir.
stuff. All that.
Bonne nuit.
And with that, we have reached the end of our night here at the Dubtakia Inn. We hope you enjoyed your visit. Enjoy your night. Free complimentary Tic Tacs on your way out.
Not Dinnermans.
faces.
Not Dinnermans. What? I told you we had the budget for it. God. Cheapskate.
No, we need to save that money for the giant robot we're building in the backyard.
We don't need a giant robot in the backyard. We've gone over this.
This is not Power Rangers.
Screw this. I'm going in the hallway.
What kind of a podcast doesn't have a giant robot? You gotta think big.
Every other podcast.
Every other
big.
podcast.
Think huge.
No, we are not getting a giant robot. Have a good night, everybody. I gotta knock some sense into Noah.
Les incompétents. Au revoir, mes amis.
Au revoir, mes amis.
Aloha, and remember, always tip your spirits.
And your wages.
Otaku.
Have a good night.
Otaku on, everybody. Have a good night.
Keep it spiritual.
ゆらりゆら